This is Yorkshire.
Built on pride.
Forged through generations.
Now, a new season begins.
Driven by ambition.
We play to compete.
We play to win.
Driven by those who stand with us.
This is Yorkshire.
We don't stand still.
We move forward.
Together.
Well, a very warm welcome to Headingley for Vitality T20 blast action between Yorkshire and Gloucestershire. These sides have never met in this competition before. Your Yorkshire team looking for a fourth win from 4 blast games this season, up against a Gloucestershire side with 2 wins from 3. Let's take a look at the pitch for this one. Robbo's team here at Yorkshire won the best white ball pitches in the country award for last season. And once again, it looks to be something of a high-scoring track. Don't be fooled by the grass on top. It was used for a women's game a little while back, but this is a pitch that really you want 200 plus on as we come down on a good length. There's also going to be a bit of a factor of the wind today. When you're hitting out towards the western terrace, you're hitting into the wind. When you're hitting away to the east stand behind me, that wind is in your favour. So interesting to see how that affects which ends the spinners tend to bowl at throughout the contest. But as always here at Headingley, it's a deck that the batters generally will enjoy batting on. As we take a look down the other end, again similarly a pitch that we expect to play a little better than it looks in use for just the second time here at Headingley. We'll have news from the coin toss very shortly. It's Yorkshire versus Gloucestershire here at Headingley.
Vertu, official partner of Yorkshire County Cricket Club.
Welcome to Headingley, where it's time for the toss in the first ever T20 meeting between Yorkshire and Gloucestershire. A cross-group game, easy for me to say. Yorkshire looking to take control of the North Group with a 4th win from 4. Gloucestershire 2024 champions and with 2 wins from 3. The visiting captain Jack Taylor is here and Johnny Bestow's got the coin in his hand. Let's give it a spin. Tails is the call from Gloucestershire, and it is a tails. So Gloucestershire won the toss and choosing to bat. Let's get a quick chat with Jack first after the handshakes. You've won the toss and choosing to bat. What's the thinking?
Yeah, look, it looks like a nice wicket. Day game, hopefully get a score on the board and then look to squeeze later on.
2 wins from 3 for you so far. A defeat last time out at Northampton. It seems like you're going pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we're playing some good cricket. There's definitely spaces to improve and hopefully we can do that today and come away with the points.
And 1 change for you. Phillips in, Miles out. What's the thinking?
Just a bit of different planning. We think we can maybe use a bit more spin here. So, yeah, like I say, get a score on the board and then try and squeeze.
Thanks so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's speak to your Yorkshire captain, Johnny Bestow. Johnny, you've been sent in. What would you have preferred to do?
Yeah, we were going to bowl and chase, so yeah, really happy with that.
Worked out well for everybody then. Unchanged from Friday night. Fantastic win at Durham to keep that momentum going. You must feel like you're flying at the moment.
Yeah, feeling pretty good. I've challenged the lads to keep backing it up. We've obviously won 3 from 3, but it's a case of, right, we turn up here, fresh slate, and we've got to put in a performance. We know that Gloucester are a strong side. So yeah, it's about turning up and then entertaining the people who come out on a Sunday.
and unchanged, relatively simple selection decision after such a good overall performance?
Yeah, look, I think in T20, if you can be consistent with that, it's a great help, because people then fit into their roles and understand different facets of the game, to be quite honest with you. And yeah, if we can stay pretty consistent throughout, then it's a pretty simple equation, especially with a strong result like that.
Thanks so much, Johnny. Good luck.
Cheers, thank you.
So Yorkshire looking to make it 4 wins from 4 here, but it is Gloucestershire who've won the toss, and they've decided they're going to have a bat.
Goes straight up in the air. And gone. Gone. Good communication there from the Durham fielders. Graham Clark was initially under it and Casey Aldridge called him off it. But Durham pick up the early wicket. They all bowled him. Don't know if that's got a little nudge off the pad there as Luxton has looked to back away and hit it over the leg side. Short and hooked around. It's not going to carry out. Roads out in the beach grey boundary. He gets it in the gap. And that will race away for 4 here. Nice batting from Wharton, using his height, good reach. Short, pulled away. Roads out in the deep. As well to keep that to a single. Gone. 1 bounce for 4. See almost what the plan was. I thought he might have tried pace off. In the air. And that one, he does get all of that, Johnny Bairstow, all the way for 6. A little bit of width. He's got the length he liked. He goes inside out. That is a magnificent shot, Johnny Bairstow. Back-to-back 6s. Here. You say. He guides that away. That's a gorgeous shot from Johnny Bairstow. We've just talked around just getting a little bit of touch in the last couple of overs. That 2 6s over the offside and that gorgeous late cut. Morton does the same. He gets a top edge and it flies over Parkinson and will run away for 4. A little bit of luck. That's just what you need in T20 cricket. Pace off. This is slapped straight down deep mid-wicket's throat and that ends the partnership. Clever bowling from Casey Aldridge. Matthew Potts takes a comfortable catch in the deep. This one's pulled away into the deep and will go for 4. Sauter, maybe after the last ball, where Wharton came down the wicket, was expected. That's driven straight to the captain in the covers. It was beautifully timed from Moeen Ali. Alex Lee makes no mistake.
So Ash, last year I spent a year with a guy I met at my golf club called Neil Brinsden, and we went round the country doing a book called What Cricket Means to Me.
That's definitely more than 300 words. This has flipped around the corner. It'll be 1 bouncing away for 4. So Wharton just picking things up here.
You know, I didn't know until I started with the Cricketers Trust that...
Oh, sorry, just to interrupt you. That's a magnificent shot down the ground, straight back into the sight screen for 6.
Great shot, eyes. I know women who are finishing their career and making sure.
That's 4 more for Wharton, really targeting the sight screen and finishing off that over nicely. Moves on to 111 for 4 now, Yorkshire, after 16. That's tucked away beautifully by Wharton, who is really now stepping on the accelerator. And he repeats the dose, Wharton. It's risk and reward, and he is being rewarded here. He might just have another. That's probably the best of them all. Backs away and slaps Ben Rain through the covers for 4.
Obviously, if you're lucky enough to go into something else straight away, that's great, but a lot of people aren't.
Hold him. And I tell you what, risk and reward. He's played beautifully there, James Wharton. He's got himself to 64. You know, friends and family, and then just becomes a whole new community.
Ooh.
That's hit high in the air. I tell you what, that's a really, really well judged catch. Will Rhodes went right, went left, went back, went forward, went right, then left again. And this goes straight up in the air. It should be a simple catch for Sauter. And he holds on. Hassan Ali's short stay is over. He goes for 3. Yorkshire lose their 7th wicket with 129 on the board. This one's hit to long on. Will it clear long on? It will. It's a good strike from Revis. Very, very handy number 9 to pace off, and that is slapped over the covers. That's a beautiful shot from Revis. Goes away for 4. Might be sending him a message saying, you know, get me up the order, lads. It's over number 19. That's helped on its way round the corner. This one's helped around the deep square. Straight to him. The people's champion, Graham Clark, taking the catch. 1 for Potts, 1 for Parkinson. Sorry, mate, I think that's 3 now for Potts, isn't it? It is indeed. Finishes off the innings with back-to-back wickets. He finishes with 3 for 20. It's hammered away through the covers, and the first boundary on the up. Graham Clark imperious. And Clark walks across his stumps and whips it to mid-wicket.
Shot.
And you talk about down the ground. He hasn't got all of that. And Durham lose their 2nd wicket. That's Fahim Ashraf. Bedingham doesn't want to rebuild.
He's gone.
He belts this one over mid-wicket for 4. This one's slapped to mid-off. He's set off and he's gone. He's run himself out. Went on the shot. And Durham lose their 3rd in the power play. Shouts of catch. It's 1 bounce and away for 4. David Bedingham. This time he hits him on the up through the covers, and that is shot of the day. Beautiful shot that from David Bedingham. Bairstow now going to reinforce the offside, taking mid-wicket out. Putting Revis across into the covers. This is hit down the ground. Glorious shot from Bedingham. Again, pace off that time from Ali. Oh, gone. 4 wickets in the power play. Hassan Ali celebrates. Gets through Colin Ackerman with a full straight one.
Against his old county.
He's a cool head as Bedingham smashes that one away. AJ Ty dives, can't pull it in. Goes away for 4. This is hit in the air. Will it get down?
What a catch.
That is an incredible catch. Absolutely incredible catch. It's hit down to long off. AJ Ty takes a comfortable catch. And Durham are in a real hole here. 66 for 6.
In comes mine. Oh. As he takes
Chipped
the
down
pace
to long
up.
on, and Revis does the business again.
Absolutely, that cameo, those catches.
And there's another wicket. Dom Bess right through the gate. Matthew Potts playing and missing. Durham 8 down for 69. Yeah, he has. Johan in. Oh, and is that out? Has that hit Souter on the pad first? And umpire Pratt decides yes, it has. And that is the end of Nathan Souter in the championship. Short, pulled away by Potts.
Boundary.
Out into the deep, and that will go away for 4. Some ironic cheers from the crowd. Got options that they haven't even used today. This one's nicely hit.
Oh, it's beautiful.
By Potts.
Can't see where it's
and
gone.
Away for 4 through extra cover. Glorious shot.
He was his one to watch.
Potts goes big. Goes all the way for 6. Lovely strike, Matthew Potts, who hasn't given up. Slow and edged away past Bairstow. Potts turns around and comes back, and that will be the end of the innings. He's run out by half a pitch. And that probably sums up Durham's innings. To be fair, Potts has run out for 19, Durham all out for 93.
Headingley, could you please welcome our guard of honour for today's game from North Allerton Cricket Club. We have another Vertu 3-match predictor competition for you. Scan the QR code now and tell us who's going to take Yorkshire's first wicket. All entries will be registered into a draw to win a signed
at the end of the Vitality Blast campaign.
A warm welcome to a beautifully sunny Headingley. A perfect setting then for T20 Vitality Blast action as Yorkshire and Gloucestershire meet for the first time in their history in the T20 format. As you would have seen at the coin toss, it is Gloucestershire who've won the toss and decided to bat first. And as part of one of our Vertu activations, you can scan the QR code to vote on who you think might take the first wicket. Hassan Ali looking like the favourite according to your thoughts right now. AJ Ty and Fahim Ashraf, who's on home T20 debut for Yorkshire. The other two possibilities in the poll, of course, depending on Yorkshire, maybe looking to introduce some spin early on. There could be other options. I'm delighted to say, joining yours truly, Michael McCann, in the commentary box for this one is someone who's always a favourite of ours up here at Yorkshire Cricket TV, but sadly at the moment is up here rather than having the potential to be out on the grass a little bit more due to a rather troublesome leg situation that has him in a version of a moon boot. But it's a very good afternoon to Noah Kelly.
Good afternoon, Michael. Good afternoon, everyone at home as well.
It feels both polite and also from a human caring point of view to start with with an injury update for you. You reckon you're about 4 months or so out. We do have a camera up here in the commentary box. I'm sure at some point we'll cut to showing quite the state of your left leg, but just take us through what's happened.
Yeah, so pretty much I had a grade 4 rupture of my tendon in my hamstring, which happened during batting between the wickets. I've since had surgery on Tuesday, which thankfully went very successful. And yeah, I've got this Bioman brace on for the next couple of weeks.
Bioman, yeah, it's giving very Michelin Man sort of thing. It's looking like something out of an Avengers film.
But no, it's nice to be back at Headingley, as you say. It'd be nice to be in contention for playing, but come down, support the lads and stay involved. I think it's a good key part of the rehab.
Let's have a look at the teams then, starting with Yorkshire. They're unchanged from the side that won very comfortably against Durham on Friday night by 58 runs to make it 3 wins from 3. Adam Live, Johnny Bairstow, skipper Will Luxton, James Wharton, who batted very impressively in that one, Moeen Ali, Fahim Ashraf on home T20 debut, AJ Tai, Hassan Ali, Matthew Revis, Dominic Best, Jaffa Chauhan, very experienced, as Best himself called it in pre-season. It's Dad's army, and it's fair to say so far it's been going pretty well.
Yeah, it's been really good. I think the thing that stood out for me these last few games is the adaptation between the situations. The chase that happened pretty comfortably down at Trent Bridge compared to, setting at Durham where we were only 55 off the first 10, and then Wharton and Bairstow came in pretty incredibly and got us up to a competitive score, which enabled us to bowl them out and win the game up at Durham.
Yeah, I'm good mates with the Durham head coach Ryan Campbell, and I know he was saying afterwards that he was very impressed by the way Bairstow and Wharton actually slowed the game down. They reassessed. They took a lot of time, and it would have been easy to look at the run rate Yorkshire was scoring at and panic, and actually they steadily got going. Bairstow hit those 2 consecutive sixes off Salter, and then it was Wharton that really carried the innings through in the end with 64 off 41. Bairstow making 43 off 37. Durham ultimately bowled out for just 93. A tough test for Yorkshire today, though. It is a cross-group game. Yorkshire trying to take control of the North Group with a 4th win from 4, but they face a side, of course, very much not from the North. Gloucestershire made the trip up yesterday. Did what all good teams do these days when preparing for a game of T20, which is unreliably informed. David Milan used his old Yorkshire connections to get them a very scenic game of golf. Gloucestershire with 2 wins from 3 so far, and we can take a look at the Gloucestershire team, which is Miles Hammond, Darcy Short, Ollie Price, Ben Charlesworth, Jack Taylor, Cameron Durrell, James Bracey, Duan Janssen, Matt Taylor, Marchant de Lange, Graham Van Buren, and blast debut for Joe Phillips, who can offer occasional off-spin, lengthens the batting. They've taken out Craig Miles. Jack Taylor alluding to at the toss him feeling like spin might be the thing to go for at Headingley, and we may well see a bit more of Taylor himself bowling his leggies on that note.
Yeah, they were very impressive. I watched their game away at Glamorgan, and they sort of pulled the victory out of nowhere in them last few overs. A sign of a good team when...
For Yorkshire.
For today then, just jumping back to what we were mentioning about Gloucestershire, that is a team that with 2 wins from 3 so far in Group 2 find themselves 2nd in the table. You may be wondering, as I mentioned, David Milan, what his particular situation is. Well, he's targeting a return for the second half of the Blast. The former Yorkshire captain remains out with a muscular injury, but he's travelled to Leeds with the squad, continuing his role as a batting consultant, having, of course, been with Yorkshire from 2020 right through to 2025. And he, very cheeky chappy, and he told me quite openly at the coin toss, words along the lines of Yorkshire are somewhat lucky today to not have to face me. I'm sure if he was around, he'd be fairly motivated to get some runs against his old employer, but plenty of pleasantries exchanged with plenty of people in White Rose uniforms quite across the county, having been Yorkshire's T20 captain last season. Focusing on this season, we can take a glance at the North Group table, which makes for very happy reading for Yorkshire right now. Yorkshire with 3 wins from 3. They are the only team in the group yet to be beaten, and if Durham were to be beaten by Nottinghamshire today, albeit on the table that looks a slightly unlikely result, and Yorkshire were to win, everybody in the group would have lost at least twice except for Yorkshire. So it's a great chance for Yorkshire to really grab this group by the bull and the horns. It's a double round robin format. You play everyone home and away of these 6 teams that you see in front of you. So 10 games in your own group, and then as part of this reshape from 2 groups to 3 and 14 games down to 12, you play 2 games outside of your group. So Yorkshire will travel to Hampshire, and they also have this game where they're at home against Gloucestershire. The top 2 teams from each group go through, and then 2 of the 3 best ranked third place teams also go into the quarterfinals. It's quite a higgledy-piggledy format, but that's the most concise way I can explain it. What do you make of it from a player's point of view?
I think it's been great. I think the change to the finals day in particular, bringing it forward to the end of that second block, I think as a playing group you want that out of the way. And as a viewer as well, I imagine you get this build-up from overseas players, the star players carrying that form straight into finals day, instead of having to wait till September. So I think from a commercial point of view, a player's point of view, and a viewer's point of view, it makes sense, and it's hopefully going to bring some good action on finals day.
Yeah, you are spot on about that change. Quarterfinals on the 15th of July, finals day at Edgbaston 3 days later, move to being before the 100 starts, and it also makes it easier to keep your overseas players that have been with you through the whole campaign for that finals day. Yorkshire trying to get there, of course, for the first time since 2022. Gloucestershire, your 2024 winners. We are just 7 minutes or so from the first ball here at Headingley.
Vertu, official partner of Yorkshire County Cricket Club.
So the first ball at Headingley, almost exactly 5 minutes away in the first T20 encounter between these two sides, and as part of our Vertu free-to-watch feature, we've picked out 3 players for the White Rose to keep a particular eye on. Starting with Johnny Bairstow, of course someone with almost 300 England appearances, a county championship winner with Yorkshire way back in the Jason Gillespie era in 2014 and 2015. Actually really vividly sticks in my mind an interview he did with Sky at Trent Bridge when Yorkshire had won the title, and he was asked just how much sleep he got the night before, and he said something along the lines of absolutely none, didn't sleep a wink, but it doesn't matter. And it told you a lot just even in that moment about what the White Rose means to him, and of course pummeled that century in a win at Lancashire last season. As a young batter within that environment, what's Johnny been like to deal with as a skipper and in terms of someone to learn off, Noah?
Oh, he's been awesome. Only being 20, I watched a lot of him growing up, so it does feel weird to share a dressing room with him at times. But his knowledge and his care for everyone, especially as he's taken on the role as Red Ball captain, has been absolutely second to none. As you said there, the club means the absolute world to him. He's followed in the footsteps of his father, who captained Yorkshire as well, so it means a lot to him on a personal note as well. And he'd love nothing more than to keep this win streak going and get us to a finals day.
Yeah, no, George Hill in a recent interview nicknamed him Big Bad Bluey, playing on the Bluey nickname that's run through the Bairstow lineage. Our second of our three to watch, Fahim Ashraf, who makes his home T20 debut today. He certainly had a very good debut, taking 1 for 7 off 2 against Durham in the game on Friday night. 32-year-old bowling all-rounder, took Pakistan's first T20I hat-trick and has been a regularly impressive performer in the Pakistan Super League. Missed the first couple of games, but quickly made up for it with an immediate impact with the ball at Durham.
Absolute bag of tricks. There's a real big point of difference in our bowling attack. And hopefully there's another good day out today.
And speaking of bowlers who've got a bag of tricks, Hassan Ali, third of our three to watch, just appearing on the right there as I mentioned his name. Hassan Ali quickly making a bit of a hero of himself here at Yorkshire. Hassan Ali with a direct hit to run out Ollie Robinson on Friday night, and Ali also took 2 for 11 off 2 in that game at Durham. He smashed 31 not out of 12 in that epic partnership with AJ Tai. Hassan Ali, someone who, of course, has built his name both at international and franchise level, and it looks like it is going to be Hassan Ali to bowl the first over of the game from the pavilion end.
Yeah, at the pavilion end today, obviously down the hill here at Headingley, and also it's going to bring a cross breeze in today, which is coming from the western terrace towards the east stand. So on your picture now, it's coming from right to left. So Hassan Ali potentially looking to bring this ball back into the left-hander.
Yeah, the wind is going to be a really important factor today. It's hard to quite convey fully in words just how windy it is when hitting out towards that western terrace. As Richard Robinson, head of ground staff at Yorkshire, summed it up perfectly. I'd be hitting aerial to the west and on the floor, aerial to the east, I should say, and on the floor to the west. There isn't actually a short boundary on either side. Miles Hammond and Darcy Short opening up for Gloucestershire. Hassan Ali to bowl the first ball of the game. Starts by being whipped through mid-wicket, and that will go for 4. It runs very fast across the squares out there, just straying onto the pads, and it's put away with a minimum of fuss by Hammond.
Yeah, touch straight from Hassan Ali there. And with this field, they've got quite a wide fine leg / deep square leg, sort of a hybrid. So he managed to get it in front of the square and into the gap, and it raced so well along the practice wickets.
6-3 offside field has got a bowl to that. It's a better delivery. It's a nice looking shot though. It's always a sign of a batter who's feeling their way into the innings well. If you can play a well-timed on drive, brings no reward though.
It's a gorgeous shot in any form of cricket, let alone the first over of a T20.
Gloucestershire with 2 wins from 3. Yorkshire looking to make it 4 wins from 4. It's a slip in as well for Hassan Ali. And just straying onto the pads, and Bairstow has to be acrobatic behind the stumps to make sure it doesn't cost Yorkshire anymore. And alongside me, for those maybe just joining us at the start of the live action here, is someone in Yorkshire batter and wicketkeeper Noah Kelly. You can also relate to it not being too fun when you get a delivery like that.
Yeah, he's done very well to stop that there. There's the movement we were talking about with the breeze potentially just helping it further down the leg side.
Better line and length, and Hammond nibbling it away. One thing just immediately obvious with Hammond, he's consistently looking to come across his stumps and open up that onside.
Yeah, with the type of bowler Hassan is, he doesn't give a lot of width. He's quite a skiddy bowler, so there's not going to be very many opportunities to cut the ball, and with 2 covers and a deep point as well, there's not a lot of value through that offside, so he will potentially be looking for anything strand on his pads or swinging a bit too much.
Steps down the track, whips that away. Perfect shot, using the wind to his advantage. Smart batting from Miles Hammond into the east stand for the first 6 of the contest.
It's a shot of pure confidence from Hammond there. He's timed that sweetly. As we watch it again, there's a hint of movement back into his pads, and he keeps his head still and flicks it beautifully over into the east stand.
And now Hassan Ali's got to adjust to what Hammond's doing here. Hammond's made his plan A quite clear. And I know it's something that people like to sometimes enjoy. You think of Jimmy Anderson looking for the ball in the bushes in a championship match. So there was a point there where I did think that Yorkshire's deep fine was about to charge into the crowd to get that back. We have eventually got the ball back. And the field has changed as well. No, it hasn't. It hasn't. There was some deliberation at one point, but they're sticking with the 6-3. So Hassan Ali's got to adjust a little here. Confident start by Hammond. Bangs one in. That's a better ball from Hassan Ali. In the blast so far, Miles Hammond was 17 against Warwickshire, 56 in the win at Glamorgan, and then 8 in the game at Northants.
Last ball of the over.
Hassan Ali uses all his experience to stop that over becoming really damaging for Yorkshire, but it's a nice start for Gloucestershire, 11 without loss after 1.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be too disappointed there, Hassan Ali. He straight onto the pads once and got hit over mid-wicket, but other than that, his lengths were really nice there towards the end of the over. Just brought it back a bit, and sort of the thigh pad length is what you're sort of aiming for at the start. And as we see here, Johnny Bairstow has gone to the experienced Moeen Ali for his second over. 2 left-handers at the crease. Moeen obviously spinning the ball away from the left-handers, maybe trying to prize a wicket or a false shot out of these two. Look to have a long off and a deep mid-wicket or a cow corner in play. And then a ringed offside and mid-on in the ring. So he's going to have to bowl quite straight here, Moeen.
A lot of this matchup, you'd think, goes back to the 2 lefties as openers. He's just nibbled away into the onside. It was something that particularly when Yorkshire used to have Live and Milan up there, used to happen to Yorkshire a lot.
It did, yeah. When you had Live, Milan, Masood, there was a lot of right arm off spin in the power play up at Headingley, and it's something that Yorkshire have a really good record in. Don Bess, particularly in the power play, has had a really good record up here at Headingley.
Just darts that one in a little bit more, Moeen. Part of the experienced campaigners that have been built at Yorkshire this season. Anthony McGrath saying we've got a really good core of younger players who are gaining experience, but probably aren't the finished article in terms of the higher end of the competition. Some appeals from Bairstow. Moeen Ali didn't seem very interested at all.
It's really beautifully bowled. You can see how he's taking the pace off the ball here and see if it's going to spin. They're sort of just feeling each other out here, Moeen and Short. Who's going to make the first move?
So that's straight at mid-on. Anthony McGrath going on. Moeen Ali, AJ Ty and Hassan have played around 1,000 T20 games between them all, which is gold. It's not just what you're seeing on the pitch. Has managed to get that away through extra cover. There was a flashing dive from the fielder, but in truth it was nowhere near them. Darcy Short's first boundary.
It's a gorgeous shot. As we spoke about the field, there was no one out on that deep cover boundary. And I don't believe this was too wide. Maybe a 4th or 5th stump ball, but he's created room with his hands beautifully.
Gives that one a bit more flight, Moeen, who will be quietly content to get out of that over, having conceded just the 6. So 17 without loss after 2. On the note of that experience, Noah Kelly decided to throw a bit of a grenade to our commentary team about 20 minutes before the first ball. Asked us just how many T20 appearances are there in this Yorkshire 11 today compared to the Yorkshire team from last season. And our hard-working colleague behind the scenes, Aaron Viles, has been getting his abacus out ever since. If I had to have you guess how many appearances there is in this Yorkshire team in terms of T20 games in their career? As Dominic Bess is on from the pavilion end. Steps away. It's a bit of a shank from Hammond, a bit of an agricultural hoik, but he is going to get a single for it.
I'd say about 1,000.
You're going 1,000. Let us know what you might think at home. Give you a couple of minutes to ponder it. In terms of comparison from this game compared to the game against Durham last season. Two very different teams, of course. There's been so many signings and outgoings for Yorkshire in T20 cricket in that time that there's very few players who played in both games. That has not beaten mid-on. Diving stop away to his right-hand side, keeps short to just a single. That is very, very good work from Ty.
That is an absolutely exceptional bit of work. Makes a stop, and I think he's prevented the run as well.
Yeah, it's a dot. You're quite right. This time again, well struck straight. Hassan Ali does the fielding. Hassan Ali was excellent in the field on Friday night. A short will be a little twitchy here. 5 off 7. Goes back, cuts away, cuts it out of the keeper's gloves. That's delightful. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, then use the pace.
The work of the hands there were awesome. Again, similar to the boundary scored off Marines last over. Bessie gone a little bit quicker there. He has been taking the pace off and trying to make him hoik it towards mid-wicket, and he's fired that one in, and it's been cut beautifully past backward point.
This time into the pads, and short moves into double figures. Yorkshire have had such a litany of bowling options this season that Bess, despite having been one of Yorkshire's best bowlers in the Blast this season, actually didn't bowl in the home game against Derbyshire last Sunday. Helped that out to deep mid-wicket. Bess almost deceived him in the flight. And that's the end of the over, which goes for 7. 24 without loss after 3 then. Bess with 2 for 13 off almost his allocation in the win at Durham, and 2 for 27 off 3 in the win at Notts. But it's also partially the era of the way modern T20 works, that game in the middle where he didn't bowl was because of matchups, and it's because there's 2 lefties. That's probably why we've seen him so early there, Noah.
Absolutely, and they've gone for Marine again, which I will say is rather unusual for T20 nowadays, but as we said, the spin has such a good record up at Headingley.
Comes down the track, long on is in play, and has taken it on the juggle. That is a magnificent catch from Matthew Revis. He took a brilliant one at Durham on Friday night, and in a very different way, this is just as good. 24 for 1. Moeen Ali gets the breakthrough. Hammond has to go for 13. And yet again, it's a very smart bit of boundary fielding from Matthew Revis.
What an awesome, awesome catch. Matthew Revis using all of his height, his nous, knowing exactly where that boundary rope is. He is hesitant to walk off here, Hammond. The umpires are just having a chat, but there's no third umpire in play, and the on-field decision will stand. And that is an unbelievable piece of fielding. The way Yorkshire fielded at Durham as well, to keep them to 95, the catch you mentioned there off Revis, it makes such a huge difference, and it's a sign of a team in good confidence, 3 from 3.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get a chance to have a couple more looks at it on the replay. He's on the far side of the ground from us because he was in front of the Howard stand as Revis heading back towards them gets a big round of applause, but I must say to us it looked okay instinctively.
Hard to tell with those ones. I think with no third umpire, the player, it goes on the players, and I'm sure the crowd wouldn't have been cheering straight away if he'd have stepped on the rope.
So out comes Joe Phillips for his Blast debut, number 3. He's off the mark immediately, finding Revis at mid-on, the 22-year-old from Truro, who's already built a solid career. And he's someone that's he's a bit of a smart cookie. He's already studied accounting, finance at Cardiff Uni. He's got his second career lined up. So a short time as a professional athlete. Short this time will get 1. Yorkshire will have been particularly pleased to get Hammond because he was starting to look slightly the more confident of the 2 early on.
Timing the ball crisply up until that point, but really experienced from Marine, taking the pace off the ball.
track that time. It's half stopped. That'd be another single. And again, interesting to see now that Phillips is out there whether this run of off-spin continues. So Moeen Ali, Bess, and then Moeen again. And between them, they've bowled very tidily. Goes quicker and flatter, gets himself a dot. So with one ball left between Bess and Moeen, they've gone for 16 off 17 here and got the breakthrough. It's another dot to finish the over, so 27 for 1. And the off-spinners in combination doing the trick for Yorkshire. Moeen getting the breakthrough as well. Just coming back to the experience of that Yorkshire team is Bess himself. He described them as Dad's Army. This Yorkshire 11 have 1,919 T20 appearances between them all, powered by the likes of Live with 221, Bairstow 268, Moeen Ali in action bowling there 433, Fahim Ashraf 276, AJ Tai 252, Hassan Ali 240. You compare with the Yorkshire side that played Durham in the Blast last season, they had 1,183. As Bess finds the outside edge, and that will be well scampered back to get themselves a 2. So this team, compared to Yorkshire's team last season, has got another 700, 800 or so T20 appearances. It is around 80% more experienced in the format overall. 1 for Phillips this time. So it is an enormous difference.
It's not just with the bat and ball as well. It's, you know, having the likes of Moeen Ali at extra cover on mid-off, or, you know, the likes of the experienced seamers as well, speaking to maybe some of the more inexperienced guys, and just having them in the dressing room as well. You get such confidence playing with them.
Gives that a bit more flight. Bess and Phillips all too happy to take the bait and gets it through wide long on. So Bess was trying to tempt and tease, but Phillips goes into the wind and gets himself 4.
Yeah, touch full from Don Bess there. Deep square, deep mid-wicket in play. So we're looking to increase the pace and maybe go into the wicket here, get it dragged out to that deep mid-wicket boundary.
Short, I beg your pardon, with that boundary rather than Phillips. And Short's getting 1 here. He's someone that has, in fits and starts, played at Australian international level as well. 8 ODIs and 23 T20Is. He's one of those kind of cricketers that if he wasn't quite so unfortunate with his nationality, he might well have played a lot more international cricket than he has. Put away by Phillips. The game inside a game here when Phillips is on strike is that Bess will not mind him hitting towards that western terrace, particularly with that strong crosswind.
I think it's an interesting matchup, this, because you've got Short, who's 16 not out, but also is left-handed, so the matchup maybe isn't in his favour, so see if Phillips takes it on.
Short again content to accumulate for now. So 37 for 1. The over ends up going for 10. Dilemma for Captain Bairstow as to whether he keeps going with spin. For Phillips and Short, it's about how aggressive might they look to be with just 1 over left of the power play. We know historically here at Headingley, in the last 5 seasons, the average winning score batting first is up around 200.
I think we're going to see something this over, either way. Hassan Ali is a wicket taker by nature, and we've got a left-hander who's pretty set now, faced 15 deliveries, which is quite a lot at the top of the order, and we've only got 1 over left of the first power play, so it's got to be disciplined here, Hassan, with his length and line, and he's opting for a deep backward point and a deep square, potentially going into the wicket, so see what options that creates for the batsman.
Manages to start with a dot. I think this was a change-up that slightly had Short prodding at it a bit awkwardly.
Yeah, you see the speed there, 71 miles an hour. It was definitely a slow ball of some sort. Couldn't quite tell from this angle, maybe possibly an off-cutter, taking it away from the left-hander, making it harder to swing through the line. And I think, you know, all these next 5 balls are going to be an event, so we'll see, you know, maybe a bouncer, a Yorker, and maybe another slow ball as well.
Tries to go inside out, looking for the covers. That's one of Short's favourite shots, but he picks out Bess, one of Yorkshire's strongest fielders.
Again, another slower ball. You can sort of see the experience of Hassan here. He knows Short's going to be tensing that bottom hand, looking to try and clear the infield, so he's taking all the pace away. And if he wants to go over the top, he's really going to have to time this.
Something's got to give here for Darcy Short. A player of his aggression and quality is rarely on 17 off 17. Comes down the track, tries to force the issue, and has managed to get that away through Short fine ball. Hassan Ali tried to bump him, and Short managed to catch up with it in time to get himself a much-needed boundary.
Just gets his line off a bit there, Hassan, and Short does well to help it round the corner. See what he's tried to do. He's sort of gone into that belly button and tried to cramp him for room, but strayed a little bit towards the leg side, and that's a much-needed boundary for Gloucestershire as they look to capitalise on these last three of the power play.
Short this time back to accumulation, brings on to strike Phillips.
And again, another interesting matchup here. Phillips, relatively new to the crease, however, he is hitting towards the leg side with the breeze, so he might choose for these two balls to try and attack this power play. Only one wicket down. The stats sort of show if you lose 3 or less wickets in the power play, it doesn't really affect your end score. It's the runs that are very crucial.
He's going to get just the one here, picking out deep square, so Short on strike for the very final ball of this power play. I know you were saying there in the build-up to this one, in the twos we've done a lot more scenario-based training with open nets. You walk out to bat, and then if you're out, you're out. You don't get another bat for 45 minutes. You also get to hit sixes and see them land, rather than it going straight into the net. I presume it will be something similar with the first, because it's a whole club mentality in terms of how Yorkshire have been preparing. Hassan Ali again strays down leg, and that's lovely keeping from Bairstow. There was a very clear deflection on it from Short, and Bairstow channeling his very best impression of Joe Hart or Mary Earps or Nigel Martin to bring the goalkeeping work out. 43 for 1 after the power play.
Yeah, I think Yorkshire will be pretty happy with the power play. Going to just touch over 7 and over. As we say at Headingley, the average winning score is up towards that 180-200. And I think this brings into a really big passage of play here. You know, this is the first time that we're allowed 5 members of the squad outside of the ring, so boundaries do tend to slow down ever so slightly, but Gloucester have got to find a way to find the rope a bit more consistently. Which brings Fahim Ashraf into the attack on Headingley debut. I'm sure the Yorkshire crowd will be looking forward to seeing what he has to offer.
He's found the outside edge first up. Down to deep third. Fahim Ashraf, 32-year-old bowling all-rounder, replaces Will Sutherland. Almost 150 appearances for Pakistan across all formats. They've got him for the entirety of the Blast, and also rounds 7 and 8 of the County Championship, which isn't actually too far away now. Warwickshire at Scar Bados on June the 12th, and then on the 19th, Yorkshire away against newly promoted Leicestershire. Helped round the corner, and it's perfectly between the two sweepers, and it's 6. This is very smart from Short, using that wind, using that breeze, using the breeze and using the pace of Fahim Ashraf against him.
Lovely pickup. The hands have been working awesome this innings. As you see there, it was not a bad delivery at all, top and middle stump. And he's created himself a bit of room and used the pace, as you said there, and get it behind square. And there was a moment where I thought Matty Revis was going to pluck it out of thin air, as he has been recently, but he could not stop that, and that lands comfortably over the ropes.
It's a better ball from Fahim. Short just guides it away, starting to look very dangerous here. Darcy Short, very much a known quantity, but very much a tough quantity to deal with as well. Grew up playing indoor cricket at a sports centre in Darwin, then went through the Darwin Grade Cricket Leagues, which is a pretty tough baptism of fire, as you would know from a few trips abroad, Noah.
Yeah, Darwin is known for its conditions. Very hot, very humid. You have to work hard to score your runs up there.
Down the pitch, and crashed away through extra cover, and that is an outstanding boundary save out there. Well, that looked like it was 4 for all money, and rightly, there's a couple of fielders running across to congratulate Will Luxton on channeling his inner Superman.
What a stop. What an incredible stop that is. I think he'll be checking if he's got Spider-Man powers when he stands back up. One hand, easy as you like, throw him back in. Thank you very much.
Well, if Leeds, Sheffield United, Barnsley or Doncaster need a goalkeeper in the off-season, well, in the cricket off-season, of course, could do worse than look at Luxton. That's pulled hard. We'll go quick across the practice pitches, and Luxton into the game again and showing what he can contribute in the field. He hasn't been in the runs this season, Luxton. It's been a tough campaign for him. Rutenbrook being into the championship side have meant he's only played a couple of games in that format, and then he scored just 11 runs in 3 in this. It can be difficult mentally as a batter to then, when that's going on, make sure your fielding switched on. So all credit to him there. This will be just 1 for Phillips with a slightly baseball-looking shot. 54 for 1 then. Good over for Gloucestershire. Powered by that 6 from Short, helped round the corner. After a few more words from Noah Kelly, who'll be joined by the brilliant Aaron Vance.
It's been a nice start for Yorkshire. Jaffa Chauhan looks to be bringing into the attack now. Leg spinner. Sort of bring your leg spinner on when you could do with a couple of wickets. Always bringing variations in. So we look to be attacking here, Jaffa. He's got the holding role of Don Bess and Marinelli behind him, who typically will have lower economy rates. So Jaffa has the liberty to maybe toss throw a few variations in and try and prize out a couple of wickets. As this partnership is starting to develop ever so slightly, as I welcome Aaron into the commentary box.
Thank you very much, Noah. Great to be back. Yeah, what a time to come on as well. We mentioned it before the broadcast started. Always love coming on for the spin. Here is Jaffa Chauhan then to Joe Phillips. Starts off aerially. Just be a single down the ground towards long off. Good to see Joe Phillips making his official T20 debut for Gloucestershire. Actually made an unofficial T20 appearance back in 2023. That came against New Zealand. Scored 70 odd in that game as well, so wow. He's no stranger to the format. He's also been crushing it in the 2, so really good to see the Cornish batter getting a go in the first 11. It's a little bit of a drag down and it misses Bairstow. Well, that will not be stopped. Races down towards the boundary. He's given us buys.
It's gone quick into the wicket there. Jaffa, I think it's maybe caught Johnny Bairstow by a bit of surprise there. Never nice when you expect a batter to be pulling the ball into the Western Terrace and you see it unfortunately going through you. But again, another variation from Jaffa there.
It's great to see, isn't it? From the leg spinner. Better areas that from Chauhan. Just a push into the offside from Short for 1. He has looked in really good touch, hasn't he, Darcy Short? I think back to last season, scored 515 runs in the Blast. Really was the talisman for the West Country outfits, and so far today, looking in ominous form is the Aussie. It's that one dragged down again. It's up in the air, but it's split the gap, and it goes all the way for 6. Disdainfully dispatched by Joe Phillips and Gloucestershire. Well, they add 6 more to their tally. The visitors 66 for 1.
Sweetly struck. You can see what Chauhan's going for, into the wicket, trying to force the singles into the sweepers, but he's sat very deep in his crease here, Phillips, and he's waited for the ball with minimal foot movement and clean strike. It's not a small boundary that towards the corners. The corners here at Headingley are deceivingly big, but he's cleared the rope with these, and Best just offering a few words of encouragement to Jaffa at the top of his mark. Potentially spotted something in Phillips' technique or something he could change. As the umpires are inspecting the ball, maybe a bit of Tetley's, maybe landed in someone's beer cup, or possibly into the concrete down there.
Well, it was an almighty hit, wasn't it, from Phillips? Timed that one exquisitely. Plenty of muscle and power behind it as well. And as you said, I think that's wise from Johnny Bairstow in that captaincy role, just having a chat here with his bowler. Of course, he's only conceded 8 next to his figures, but you've got to remember those 4 byes as well. So the over as a whole has already gone for 12. How does Chauhan respond? Pitches that one up slightly fuller. Well whisked down the ground by Phillips. It is something that myself and Maroof Khan were just discussing off air. Phillips is a good player of spin. So you'll see the different approaches. We've already witnessed him rock onto the back foot. He's happy to meet the pitch of the delivery as well. Certainly something to think about for the Yorkshire spinners today.
And how could Jaffa get out of his over? He's moved Moeen Ali from the box man in mid-wicket to 45, potentially stopping a lap sweep.
Shorts and into the surface again. Well stopped out at deep mid-wicket. So that will just be a single to round out the over. 14 runs come from it. Gloucestershire move on to 68 for 1. And we will have a quick change here in the commentary box as well. We'll say a fond farewell to Noah Kelly for the time being. We'll say an incredibly warm welcome to the one and only Maroof Khan. Maroof, we've had some discussions off the broadcast just with regards to our thoughts and what we've made of these opening 8 overs. Who do you think will be the happier of the two sides, especially after that power play?
Good afternoon, one. Good afternoon, everybody. Lovely to be here at sunny Yorkshire today. I think Noah Kelly did a remarkable job, just like his batting. Easy as you like on the commentary box. Well done, Noah. Having said that, to answer your question, can I just add to as well? I haven't yet seen one extra being bowled by the bowling side, Yorkshire. I haven't seen a wide, I haven't seen a no ball, I haven't seen a bouncer. I think that's a lot of disciplined bowling. And also, just to let you know as well, it's tough. It's tough for Jaffa Chauhan, and just goes to show how hard and how strong that win is. Feels like he's a bit ruffled with that win on his face trying to bowl. It was a tough over for him. At the moment, at about 8.5 runs and over, I'll be happy on the bowling side.
Fair enough. I mean, Michael mentioned it a little bit earlier on. Last season, the par score here at Headingley was 200 plus. It is a bit of a batting paradise compared to some of the other venues in and around the county circuit. We've just got a little bit of a delay here. I think there's just a little bit of work being done on one of the flamethrowers out towards the western terrace. In fact, well, we just have got a moment. May as well read you through a couple of the score updates taking place across the venues today. Of course, in the West Midlands, the Warwickshire Bears are 56 for 2 in what is an all-central and west clash at Edgbaston. Middlesex are 37 for 3 in their game against Hampshire at Merchant Taylors. And of course, here at Headingley, Gloucestershire are 68 for 1. So I suppose for the Gloucestershire fans out there tuning into today's coverage, you'll also be keeping a close eye on proceedings in Birmingham. We are ready then after that delay. It's Moeen Ali bowling here to Darcy Shorts. Just tickled beyond the glove of Bairstow for the single. I mean, Maroof, I'm going to jump early here when it comes to the captaincy and field placement conversation that we usually have. Darcy Short here has looked incredibly good. I know that he's just gone off strike, but what kind of tactics would you employ against the Australian? More on that after this delivery, which again is short. It's been hammered for 6 more by Joe Phillips in towards that vacant pocket at deep forward mid-wickets. And well, fielder can only just watch that sail over the rope for 6 more.
Yeah, I think a little short from Moeen. I think, allowing the batter to come right across the line and place it beautifully above deep long on for a 6.
Quick single taken, and Shorts has made his ground.
Just for the Gloucestershire fans as well, 76 for 1 of 8.3 overs. Nothing lost here, really. Darcy Short really pacing his innings quite nicely. Phillips has come and tried to take the opposition on, etc. as well. Controlling the boundaries would be important at this stage, especially in the middle overs.
We saw it the other night, didn't we? On Friday, in the game between the Yorkshire Women and Essex Women. The middle overs were ever so crucial with regards to the final outcome in that game.
And also, if you look at Darcy Short, the way he's bat, he likes to stay on his back foot. He stays a bit long and look to use the wind a lot. Very important, Moeen gets out of the over quite quickly. He's conceded 6 earlier on and 9 and 10 runs already on this over. So yes, good partnership building as well, 54 runs already.
That one swept away by Short. Towards deep backward square will just be the 1 run added here for the visitors. Gloucestershire are 79 for 1 after 9 overs, and that is back-to-back strong overs from the visiting side. As we see, nice shot there of the crowd here in Leeds today, enjoying the beautiful and glorious sunshine. Nice to see the county flag as well, with that iconic white rose.
Good day to get your suntan lotion out as well, lads. You know, everybody making sure it's nice and warm and enjoying. The ice cream van is here. I've asked Michael to go and get us some ice cream as well. Not sure, knowing Michael, we might get some ice cream today, Aaron, but we'll take it as it comes.
Well, one thing we do know for certain, we've got a change of bowling from the Howard stand end. It will be AJ Type, a clash of the Aussies, bowling here to Darcy Shorts. Starts off well. Tickles the outside edge there, races down towards deep third for 1. AJ Type, I know we mentioned it in the pre-game show, but he really is a box of tricks, isn't he? With the knuckle balls, the cutters, the slower balls out the back of the hand. A very wily operator in the format.
And I did call him the spring chicken last time as well, you know, for his young age that he's at. But obviously you can't buy experience, and you can see that no 2 balls will be the same when AJ comes on to bowl, especially against Darcy, who knows him quite well.
Certainly does. Bowling here to Phillips, though. There is a slight changing of the pace. Well, guided away by Phillips in the end. Yeah, of course, these two, no strangers in the Big Bash. AJ Type, formerly of the Scorchers, of course, Darcy Short. Whenever I think of him in the Big Bash, I think of Hobart, that iconic purple kit. These two have certainly done battle aplenty over the years. So much experience out there when these two go head to toe. Oh, and that has just been drilled. Save your legs, Darcy Short. That is 4. Down towards the Howard stand. Yet again, he has placed and timed that expertly.
How good is that bat of Darcy Short? I could hear the crack of the sound of the ball on the bat here in the dressing room as well. Great striking as well, giving himself a little bit of room, knows what the line of attack is. It's really onto his body, towards his belly button. Straight hands through the line of the ball.
Shorts, genuine bumper there from Type. Good to see. Just going back to that observation as well, Maroof, I think when it comes to Darcy's origin story as such in the game itself, I think that explains why he is so back foot orientated. Growing up in the Northern Territories, of course, went on to play for Western Australia as well. Plenty of pace in those Aussie surfaces. He now moves on to 40.
Seven runs already gone in the over. Still nothing lost. Anything under 8 runs and over in modern day cricket is a phenomenal over for me. I like that. I like this plan as well, you know, that we have here. It's important. Joe Phillips is looking at the field as well.
Well, he won't get a single there. Cut off by Jaffa Chauhan, and that'll be a dot ball to round out the over. Pretty tidy one in the end from Andrew Type. Gloucestershire are 86 for 1.
Have the virtual carpool karaoke. Get your hands out, the bling blings out as well. Get touching those steering wheels. There we go. We don't have the Vertu cam here in our com box, but you could see what Noah Kelly's telling everybody to do as well, so which is good to see.
So we'll be Don Best then from the Kirkstall Lane end. And Shorts welcomes him immediately with a 6. Just creeps over the rope. That'll be yet another boundary here for the explosive Australian. Moves him on to 46, and Well, so far it's included 5 fours, and that is his second 6 of the game. His best respond after that. It's down the leg side, and that has been hammered away. It's back-to-back 6s, and this will be a half-century of the very highest standard from Darcy Shorts. Of course, Gloucestershire's talisman last season with 500-plus runs in the competition. Struggled a little bit early doors in 2026. But I'll tell you what, he has looked in impeccable rhythm today. Very, very well batting indeed. Brings it up from just 35 deliveries. Looks to go to make it a three-peat. Can't quite do so. Will just be a single.
Yeah, Yorkshire needs to be careful here as well. And Dom Best, he is in the firing line. Darcy Short has had a good innings so far. He's placed himself so well. Doesn't look like he's broken any sweat in that innings.
Well, now it's Phillips' turn. He splits the gap divinely. Just wide of long on. James Wharton and AJ Ty with the 2 fielders trying to cut that one off, but that will be the team century up for the glorious Gloucesters. The visitors 103 for 1.
Yeah, a little short there from Dom Best, trying to change the pace.
Oh, really changes the line there as well. 2 wide, a good take by Johnny Bairstow, but that will be an extra. You mentioned this beforehand, didn't you, Maroof? The lack of extras so far. I make that the 7th of the innings as a result of those 4 byes, 2 wides and the 1 leg bite.
And if our viewers can see this ball again, look how Dom Best changes his action on this one as well. Goes a little round arm. He's got this ball, I think, I'm sure he's been working on. He has it in his locker as well. He goes a little right arm, not allowing the batters to come underneath the ball.
Oh, that one very full, almost in the block hole. Well worked out from Darcy Shorts. And that'll be a single to round out the over yet again. Feels like we've said this quite a few occasions now, Maroof. That's been a very good one as far as Gloucestershire are concerned. Goes for 20.
Yeah, the last four or 5 overs, averaging about 10 to 12 runs an over. I think Gloucestershire are picking up the pace a bit as well. They've had good wickets in hand. 11 overs done, 106 for 1. They're setting themselves up quite nicely. Darcy Short on 50, and so we have Joe Phillips as well, giving him good support. And as you can see, Dom Best changing his pace wherever he can. Interesting battle coming up in the next few overs. And I think looking at what Johnny Bairstow is doing, he's going to change the field, change the bowlers as well, try and keep up the pressure and always stick to the plans. I'm sure that's been discussed a lot in the dressing room.
Well, I think for both the seamers and the spinners, famous last words here, as the short ball probably produces a wicket, but I think the Yorkshire bowlers could just pitch it up a little bit more, just from what we've seen. Here is Fahim Ashraf, and Darcy Short again clubs that down the ground. Good tumbling stop there in the end by Hassan Ali. He's such a good character, isn't he, Maroof? Just a great person, not only for the players, but for the fans as well.
Yeah, he loves the game, wears his heart on his sleeve, Hassan Ali, really. And the way he dropped that bat after that victory in the last game, social media is going all gung-ho about it. But rightly so, and he loves playing for the game, he loves his cricket. Fahim Ashraf and Hassan Ali, a good combination there.
Oh, Phillips there, chasing a wide one. A little bit too wide for the standing umpire's liking. Will have to be re-bowled.
Yeah, I think he's got away with that ball. He has got no support and nothing at the back behind point, really. Any kind of bat, good contact to the right of Moeen Ali at point would have been 4 runs.
Well, just touching him on the field, it is a 5-4, isn't it, in favour of the offside here. As the fielder at fine leg, 3 sweepers on the leg side. As Phillips advances, just splices to the right-hand side. The aforementioned Moeen Ali. And that will be 2 runs.
Looking at the field that's been set as well here, Aaron, and you can see there's a long on, there's a deep mid-wicket and a deep square, which tells me that he's looking to bang the ball short, not giving much room. I'm not sure if that's a good ploy, really, with the wind not really assisting anything on that side. A free swing of the bat, just like a ball swing, could go towards the member stands. Fahim Ashraf is under pressure.
Well driven. Square of the wicket down towards deep cover point for one. I mean, that is a real area of strength of Joe Phillips as well. With how many times have we seen it in the county championship? Those glorious, crisp drills through the cover and extra cover region. He's also pretty proficient with playing the short ball as well on the pull and the hook. So if that is to be the MO here for Yorkshire, Gloucester have got two very good players of it.
That's correct. And look at the way Darcy Short is now controlling the innings. You know, he's only taking his chances only if he has to. He's always having the right chat with Joe Phillips as well to see what's expected. Gloucestershire sitting pretty here, but 9 wickets in hand. 9 overs left, or 8 overs left after this. And the run rate currently at 9 runs an over.
That one has just been turned, and turned handsomely. I think that's gone all the way for 6. Indeed it has. Joe Phillips, well, he's putting on an exhibition here. Spoke about the scoring rate of Darcy Short. And Joe Phillips here almost striking at 200.
Yeah, once again, I think I mentioned again as well when Jaffa Chauhan was bowling, I don't think it's easy for the bowlers to run in with that strong wind, and it's throwing them off a bit in terms of executing their plans. Not a good ball there by Fahim.
Here is the final delivery of the over. Phillips again, just a little shuffle across to the offside. Guided well down towards Adam Lyth for the single. So it's another productive over as far as the visitors are concerned. Gloucestershire 119 for 1 after 12. And the partnership stands at 95 from just 53 deliveries. These two are motoring along. Who can provide the breakthrough for the home side? That'll be the conversation between the leadership group and, of course, in the mind of the captain, Johnny Bairstow.
It just goes to show also in modern day cricket, you have to have good conventional techniques of playing this game. 6 overs for 43 for 1. At the end of 12, you're 119 for 1. They haven't done anything different. No reverse sweeps and scoops, but still scoring at 10 to 12 runs and over.
Here is tighter Phillips. That's a really good delivery from AJ side. Thought he was going for the celeb repeal then.
That right there tells me that this is a good batting track as well. And it's fair for both the sides. If the bowlers are trying to bend their backs in and hit the seam, the ball just does come off a length. But there's good pace on it as well. So that's a good ball. And Andrew would try to replicate that again if he can.
Well, there's some invention, and it's brought the wicket. Joe Phillips trying something a little bit outside of the box and tickles it behind into the gloves of Johnny Bairstow. Partnership is broken. Phillips departs for a very entertaining 42, and Gloucestershire are 119 for 2 here in the 13th over.
Once again, AJ Chai keeping that same length. Phillips trying to go across, gets a bit of a tickle. Johnny Bairstow, once again, a good catch that. Watch it all the way to his gloves. We got a clap from our man here in the comm box as well, so he approves it, which is good.
Well, we'll just take another look here from that delivery, courtesy of AJ Ty. You could actually see what Phillips was trying to do because fine leg was in the circle. I don't mind that. I really don't. The fact is, he's batted very well today. He's probably got the confidence, the rhythm flowing through his veins. He's thinking, well, all the other shots have come off. Let's see if we can try something a little bit different. In the end, though, it does mark his downfall for the innings. But what a blast debut that has been for Joe Phillips. 42 runs as the Gloucestershire captain, Jack Taylor, walks out into the middle. Oh, that one sliced away, carved for 4 runs. For a split second, Matt Revis thought that he was in the game there at backward points. He had 0 chance of ever catching that one.
Yeah, a little bit of wet there, really. You know, you're walking in 119 for one. The captain knows, you know, he's got to up the ante a bit. A little bit of wet there. Edge it high and then just throws his bat at it, really, the captain. Great shot.
Certainly was. Just drops that wide of Dom Best for one. Something to watch out for here with Jack Taylor. Quite bottom hand dominant. You could see there a little bit of extra flair and panache on the cut shots. And, well, he is an incredibly strong player through mid-wicket. So if you're going to bowl it straight, you've got to make sure you've got the right feel because, trust me, 60 metres will not contain his muscle. Here is tighter short then. Short now plays that along the deck.
Also, any singles taken in T20 cricket is like it's a dot ball in my book. You know, it's I don't think the sides mind that these days. They're getting as many singles as possible. That doesn't do the damage much more than what the boundaries and the shots over the ropes could do.
Well, tie again. It's short. There's an appeal from the bowler. Bairstow. Well, I'd say that he took about half a second or so to react to that. It will be a dot ball to round out the over. That is a better one for Yorkshire. Of course, the big wickets of Joe Phillips and just 6 runs conceded. Gloucestershire are 125 for 2.
Is it that time yet, Michael, where we're doing some scores predictions at the moment? What do you think, Aaron?
Score prediction, that's quite difficult. You'd be hoping, from a Gloucestershire perspective, at least 10 and over. So you're probably looking 190 plus. At least as, yep.
Speaking of which, where's my ice cream, Michael? Yeah, 10 runs and over, fair.
Here is Matt Revis then for the first time today. Darcy Shorts just lofts that down towards long on for one.
Very crucial part of the game as well now. Matt Revis, you know, looks like he's coming to bowl the tough overs. You know, 126 for 2. Gloucestershire really looking strong. Taylor coming in, Jack, you know, just placing himself in. Darcy short on 58. Few heavy balls coming from Matt Revis. Interesting phase of the game.
Certainly is. Oh, that's an interesting shot. I think that may have gone all the way for 6. In fact, it's been signalled as a 4. Looked very close, that, with regards to the trajectory over, or at least just in front of the rope. Has been signalled as just the 4, though. So Taylor moves on to 9. Yet again, a lovely shot, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looks like Jack Taylor is asking the umpire to just check again with the square leg umpire to see what's happened there. Hopefully our camera person can give us a look as well. They're just checking if it's a 4 or a 6, really. And the change of decision, that's a 6.
Yeah, and I think that is the right decision. We had quite a good vantage point in the end, so Taylor, an extra couple added to his tally. Gloucestershire captain moves on to 11 from just 4. So that one has been carved away. 4 more, this time down towards the coastal lane ends of the ground. Taylor striking at 300, and already Bairstow just going over for a little bit of a chat with Adam Lythe. Plenty of experience between those two.
Yeah, I think just having to bowl on both sides of the wicket is not what you require at this stage, you know. Sticking to the plan, Matt Revis bowls those hard lengths. He's got a good Yorker as well.
He's under pressure here. Takes the pace off. Yeah, it relates nicely to something that Anthony McGrath mentions before the game. When Revis is bowling well, there is a point of difference with his height. There's a bit of extra pace, and of course the bounce as well. He can be that X factor. So far, Jack Taylor has taken a real liking to the all-rounder. That one's just snatched at, really. by Taylor. Dot ball there for Matt Revis.
Yeah, coming in, it looks like he is bowling a lot of change of pace there as well. So I think he's quickly realised that if he's not hitting his marks correctly, he needs to make sure that, you know, he is keeping the batters guessing in changing the pace and the length.
Final delivery of the over then. Taylor, he has crunched that. It won't be stopped by James Wharton. Ricochets into the Western Terrace. That will be a boundary to round out Revity's first. It goes for 15. Gloucestershire, they are going incredibly well here. Exactly 10 and over. The visitors 140 for 2 after 14.
The crowd's coming in big numbers now. It really helps. It really helps when the team is doing well, you know. A lot of buzz and atmosphere around that as well. It encourages everybody to be at the ground and support their teams.
And rightfully so. I mean, I had a chat with Jonathan Doidge prior to today's game. He had a great stat about this. It's the first time that Yorkshire have ever won their first 3 matches in a T20 Blast competition.
I believe he's hit the ball so hard on the wall that they want to change the ball as well, I think. Jack Taylor. Yeah, the crowd's coming in. The good music being played as well.
The tunes have been very good today, I must admit. I have been thoroughly enjoying them here in the commentary box. Well, we have just got a little bit of a reprieve. Let's just go through some scores on the doors. So we'll start, of course, in the Central and West group, where the Warwickshire Bears are 104 for 3 against the Northamptonshire Steelbacks. Of course, that will be in the minds of Gloucestershire today. If the Steelbacks do lose heavily in that one, potentially could go towards the top of the group itself. In the North group, Durham are 26 for 2 against the Notts Outlaws at Trent Bridge. That one starting a little bit later, so they're in the 5th over of that game in Nottingham. And last but by certainly no means least, in the South, Middlesex are 68 for 5 against the Hampshire Hawks at Merchant Taylors. I'll tell you what, Maroof, we have timed that perfectly because AJ Ty is ready to bowl. And Darcy Shorts has clobbered that all the way for 6.
Once again, Darcy Short waiting for the ball to be in his arc. Watches it closely onto his body. Free swing of the blade as well. Good Chris shot that.
Was a terrific shot, and well, I was going to mention AJ Ty's figures before that delivery. It was 1 for 13, now moves to 1 for 19. Short that time looking to whisk it away through the offside to no avail.
Yeah, the wicket has got a good carry and bounce, as you can see on that ball as well. AJ Ty, you know, pushing the pace up a bit. Dot ball in T20 cricket is gold dust.
Short there, steps onto the back foot. Just waiting to see what that has actually come off of. It's come off the bat, so that will be 4 runs. Probably not where the shot was intended by the Australian. He moves on to 68, and Gloucestershire bring up the 150.
Yeah, a little short of length as well. I'm not sure what's happening. Has he been hit on the helmet as well?
Potentially. That's why I questioned it, because it definitely came off the helmet. I think it's probably just an edge which careened really into his lid.
Yeah, as the youngsters are enjoying a good day out at Headingley, it's also a good time to the break for the Yorkshire players as well, just to, you know, take stock of what's happening. I think a change of plan, just discuss what's going on. As you can see, AJ Ty and Dom Bess having a chat in terms of what the plan looks like, but the crowd here again, coming in numbers.
They certainly have. Also, just a little bit of a game for us to play here in the commentary box and along at home as well. When do you think was the last over that Gloucestershire didn't score a boundary? So, of course, we are here in the 15th. We've already seen 2 in this one. So we've got the 5th over from Michael McCann. 9th from Noah Kelly. What about yourself, Maroof?
I'll go over number 7, in between.
Over number 7.
Nicely in between those two.
Okay, well, I shall reveal the answer towards the end of the over. The delay has come to its conclusion. To see so many happy faces in the crowd as well. Exactly what the Vitality T20 Blast is all about. That is a very, very high cricket ball, and that has gone for 6. That's sailing straight into the stands. Darcy Short is giving it an absolute mullering today.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Darcy Short has found a liking to his mate's bowling, really. That pace is helping him coming through the line. It's a big hit, that. It's a long hit in the air as well as the distance-wise.
Shuffles again. This one, it may beat the effort of Wharton. Doesn't even put the dive in. Couldn't do because of the spin. Whistles away towards the Western Terrace. It will be 4 more, and AJ Type has gone for 20 in this over.
This game is all about momentums and shifts and roundabouts, really, you know. 6 dot ball, 4, followed by a 6, another 4. Runs are leaking at this point.
Big delivery here for AJ Type. It's Shorts. It goes down towards deep third for 1. So 21 arrived from the 15th over. Gloucestershire 161 for 2. And yeah, just to go back to that previous conversation, it was the 4th over. That was the last time we didn't see a boundary in this first innings.
On the screen now, there is a QR code for you to scan for your chance to take on the Vertu Bullseye Challenge out of the pitch during the interval.
Would you like to take part in the Vertu Bullseye Challenge, Aaron?
I would, however, we're up here in the commentary box. I don't think we'd make it in time.
That's my answer as well. I'm absolutely yes on that.
They're plenty of fun, and of course we'll link nicely into that during the interval. A little bit of mid-innings, or should say innings break entertainment, not mid-innings, of course. Everyone's focused on the action out there in the middle.
I think a good line of attack as well. Hassan Ali coming round the wicket this time to Darcy Short.
Cramps him for room, doesn't he? Just the single there for the Australian. Moves him into the 80s. Puts Jack Taylor back on strike. Just looking at the field, has been very similar here between the bowlers when it comes to the Gloucestershire captain. You've got long gone. Got deep mid-wicket / deep forward square. In fact, I'll probably describe that as, and deep square itself. There is Hassan Ali then to Taylor. It's wide. Yorker length dug out there by Taylor. Don Best, that's a nice clean pickup. Restricts it to just the single.
Hassan Ali, the kind of action that he has, he's a very skiddy kind of a bowler as well. And he's quite straight when he releases the ball as well, so he can really direct the ball where he wants to go. That field suggested that he might go short over the Yorker, but he actually went for a wide Yorker. So he's actually keeping the batters guessing here.
Well, this is interesting. All 4 fielders on the leg side are in the deep. He bowls that very straight. And Short, rather smartly, just drops that into the vacant space and turns it into an easy 2. Smart cricket, that.
Very smart batting as well. Realizes that everybody is on the fence. Any ball which is not in his hitting arc, he would try to place it and keep it in the middle and just get the quick 2s.
Gloucestershire here have given themselves an incredibly strong foundation. Short that time, there's shouts of catch it. This should be taken. It will be taken. Hassan Ali is the man to provide the desperately needed breakthrough for the White Rose. And Darcy Short will go for 82. Gloucestershire 165 for 3 in this, the 16th over. And, well, Maroof, you could just sense the reaction there from the crowd, the fans, even the coaching staff beneath us below. That's a big wicket.
Yeah, big wicket, smart bowling as well. Wind not in the favour for that shot, etc. The ball hanging up in the air. The strong wind. Darcy shot, cramped for room. Dom Best, safe as houses there. Good wicket. Good time to get a wicket for Yorkshire. Gloucestershire still looking good at over 10 runs and over.
They certainly are. And as one destructive left-hander departs, another one enters the middle. Ben Charlesworth it is. Nice Oxfordshire connection between these two. It's Ben's dad, Graham, head coach of the Oxford UCCE. Jack Taylor, along with his brother, very much part and parcel of the Oxfordshire age groups, played their club cricket for Great and Little Chew in the county itself. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting end to the over. Charlesworth, very strong on the pull, also good through the covers, and there is plenty of open space if Hassan Ali gets the radar wrong. One straight, good delivery from the Pakistan international.
Yeah, good rippy action that. Really, really strong bowling. Very confident as well. I think in that stage he did go for the Yorker, which was the right ball, really, especially for a new batter coming in. How many left-handers have you seen today, Aaron?
Plenty. Hammond, Short, Charlesworth, of course, Bracey still to come. Very southpaw heavy. Another shout of catch it. This should be taken. And Hassan Ali has got 2 in the over. Jack Taylor, the latest to go. Caught by Moeen Ali. And well, he's been brought in as an X-factor, a difference maker. Hassan Ali has done precisely that by removing both of the set Gloucestershire batters. The visitors 166 for 4.
Good bowling again. A bit of change of pace as well, really. I think that was important for them to happen. Goes in the air, safe as houses, Moeen Ali. 2 big wickets, 5 runs and 2 wicket over. Good bowling at that, especially in the 16th over.
Brilliant work. Well, we'll say goodbye to Maroof Khan for the time being. We'll welcome back into the co-commentary position the wonderful Noah Kelly. We'll also have one more change at the end of this next over to welcome back the marvellous Michael McCann. What an over that is from Hassan Ali, though. 5 runs conceded. First wicket to forwards, Darcy Shaw. Jack Taylor followed just a couple of deliveries later. Well, Noah, that was precisely what the doctor ordered for Yorkshire.
Massive, massive over. I mean, you know, Gloucestershire only 4 down, but having them 2 wickets going into the last 4 drags the momentum back towards Yorkshire. You know, these 2 new batsmen, Charlesworth and Dariel, have got to kind of go from the start if they're going to get to 200 and beyond.
Most definitely. It will be Charlesworth then on strike here against Ty. And Charlesworth, well, that one has been stopped at deep backward square. Of course, Darrell coming in ahead of James Bracey in the initial carded lineup. I imagine it's just to keep that left-hand, right-hand.
That's precisely what I was just about to say. I think with the left-hand, right-hand, it gives them that wind towards the east stand every over. Of course, if we had 2 left-handers, they'd both have it for this over, but the next over they wouldn't. So, as you can see there, Charlesworth straight away has tried to take on that boundary. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets put back on strike here by Darrell.
That one into the thigh pads of the youngster. I mean, Cam Darrell really has been one of the stories here for Gloucestershire in the early stages of the campaign. Scored an unbeaten 30 in the victory at Sophia Gardens against Glamorgan. Scores of 12 against Northants and 10 against Warwickshire. He's certainly a better batting option than that. Saw quite a bit of him, actually, in the Hampshire system. Was he's rifled that one. Good stop from AJ Ty. Some people may say it's a drop, but it isn't, is it? That has been mullered.
He has to be pretty cynical to call that a drop, I'd say. He's done well to stop that. You can see he's shaking his hand now. That had properly hurt. But good job it's not on his bowling hand. But just quietly, there's been 2 dots here. Darrell yet to be off the mark. He's got to find a way to either find the boundary or get down the other end.
Makes a little bit of room for himself. That has gone up in the air. I think he may get lucky. And in fact, to get more than lucky, he'll get 4 for it. 2 fielders in pursuit. Neither of them can get around to cut it off. Good shot, that, from the youngster.
Yeah, he gives himself a little bit of room. AJ Ty, using experience, does follow him, but creates enough room just to get that swing through and over mid-on. There's a massive vacant gap towards wide long on, and the outfield at Headingley is so short that it skips onto the boundary. But lovely use of the hands there.
Certainly is. No change in the field after that latest boundary. Darrell this time tries to go through the offside and it's been caught by Moeen Ali. Well, this is turning into a rather good delivery or two from AJ Tai. He gets his second of the game. The dangerous Darrell goes for a runner ball for Gloucestershire now are 5 wickets down for 171.
It's a great catch. That won't get enough credit as it should. Low, just reach him. And that was a slower ball change-up as opposed to hard into the wicket, which brought the boundary. That's slow, slightly wide, and slapped straight to the fielder. Slightly unlucky there, well, I would say. You know, a couple of yards either side of him, that's probably into the fence, but credit where it's due. It's an awesome catch and brings Price to the crease. Again, right hand, left hand.
Yep.
James Bracey obviously sliding down the order. Presumably can't go any lower than 8. He'd probably come in next. So
they have got Janssen though.
That is true.
Janssen could come in. Here is Tai then. See the right-handed Price. Just guides that out towards mid-wicket for the single. So that is the end of over number 17. Gloucestershire are 172 for 5. I shall depart to make way for the magnificent Michael McCann, and I shall leave you with some words of wisdom courtesy of Yorkshire batter Noah Kelly.
Another great over there. 6 runs from it and a wicket, which rounds off Ty's 4 overs, which I think he's bowled better than conceding 40 runs. I think he bowled well in the power play, maybe a little bit expensive in their middle overs, but he started his spell and finished his allotted 4 really well. As I welcome Michael back into the coaching box.
Yeah, an unforgiving place to be a bowler. He said it actually in his post-match interview with me after the Derbyshire game last Monday. Said, I figured out this is a pretty tough... He was very sort of self-deprecating about his own bowling, but also much like a conversation I had with Will O'Rourke last season, it takes a moment or two for you to get to realise your angles as a pace-on bowler at Headingley. Speaking of pace on at Headingley and settling into a rhythm, Fahim Ashraf's doing that in this game. And also very much a modern T20 thing. You can have figures where you've gone for 10s, and actually in the context of when you might have bowled those overs and the pitch and the conditions and what a power score is, it might not actually be that bad.
Context matters, yeah. If you're bowling the last over the power play and bowling the death as well, then you're naturally going to be more expensive, but you're doing the job for the team. You see the right-handed Price here with the breeze to the leg side. Can he take it to his advantage?
Well, he's trying to fetch it. He's fetched that, got the broom out. He's fetched that from a couple of miles outside off, and he's found the gap. Well, that's clever batting from Price. Knew the gap that he wanted to hit. Fahim was trying his best to avoid him doing it, but he still accesses it.
Yeah, it's definitely a change-up into the wicket. It's either a knuckle or an off-cut. I can't quite tell, but he's fetched that from pretty much the wide line, shoulder high, and to find it to wide long on is an awesome shot. And he's brought the field change. Mid-on's gone back and third man in the ring. Possibly going pace off again.
I think it would have been a wide. That is straighter, and that's helped round the corner. Thank you very much. Into the east stand. What wrists on that from Price.
It's fantastic hitting. Awesome hitting. You see the change up there from him going tighter to the body after he's bringing third man into the game, and Price has read it beautifully. He's probably set up for that ball in particular, top of the stumps, and using the pace of him, and just almost like a flick around the corner. And he's timed the absolute pants off it, as you say up here in the north of England.
Yeah, he made it look effortless. Made it look very, very simple. And now this gives Fahim a bit of a dilemma. Hassan Ali is coming in from mid-on to give his thoughts and exchange notes. The two highly experienced Pakistan internationals. Johnny Bairstow directing traffic from behind the stumps.
Yeah, under pressure slightly here. 10 runs off the last two balls. Price, credit. This is where your money's made in T20 cricket in my eyes around the world. This is the hardest time to bat. You're fresh in. You've not got a judge for the conditions for the pitch. You're facing a bowler who's already bowled a few overs, and you've got to go straight away. And he's managed to be striking at almost 300 in his 4 deliveries. Price is on a roll here, and another field changer bringing in. Deep squares getting brought in, and they've dropped deep backward points, so possibly going to go wide hole here.
Well, that was clearly the plan, and again, it's been fetched from almost outside the wide line by Price. That will be just a single. Ollie Price made his England Lions debut a couple of years back against India in January 2024. Scores a lot mid-wicket and square of the wicket typically. So far in the Blast, 19 against Warwickshire, a duck at Glamorgan, and 18 at Northants. That's Charlesworth facing up.
Could look for a single here, give Price a last ball towards that windy boundary.
Stead tries to ramp. It's come right off the toe end, the kind of thing that would have you reaching for a bit of chalk for your snooker cue if you're at the Crucible in Sheffield. From Ben Charlesworth, who of course will be signing for Lancashire in November of 2026 on a 3-year contract. He began the season of 2025 by announcing his intention to leave Gloucestershire at the end of it. Had a bit of a disappointing Blast, but he got 49 at Northants last time out. Down the track, and that is a glorious cover drive. Turned it into a bit of a half volley from Fahim, and the over that had been expensive anyway finishes with a boundary. 15 off it, 187 for 5.
Yeah, he's gone pace off again, just slightly straight outside the stumps, and that is a glorious shot, no matter the format. Charlesworth tucks in. I'm interested to see who he goes here, Johnny. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Moeen Ali bowling here. Could be a bit of a wild card. He bowled beautifully in the power play. He's just having a conversation here.
Yeah, Moeen 1 for 19 off 3. Hassan Ali, you would think, would bowl one of these 2 death overs. Bess and Ashraf have both been quite expensive in the 3 they've bowled. Chauhan and Revis, again, somewhat expensive in their single overs. Will be Hassan Ali to complete things from the pavilion end, so that dilemma coming up for Bairstow in the final over, but Hassan Ali, one of his bankers, 2 for 22 off 3. Starts though with a low full toss. He's got away with that a little bit. There's one quote about Hassan Ali that I thought was really interesting. Chris Lynn on the big screen at the English winter, of course, at Adelaide Strikers, said that Hassan Ali had showed us how to be professionals, which I think you can't really give much of a greater compliment to an overseas player than that.
You can see the passion as well when he takes wickets. He's got an array of celebrations, which always go viral on social media, and us as players enjoy watching them. And you've got an overseas coming in and trying the heart out.
Spearing in, this is a big shout, maybe just going down with the right arm around angle. I think Noah Kelly alongside me was definitely raising the finger.
I think he's possibly signalled there outside the line, but I mean, it's a fabulous delivery. He's executed his Yorker perfectly. Charlesworth not quite been able to get underneath it as we see the replay again. He is wide on the crease.
Might have been umpire's call impact outside the line.
I think that could be out, to be honest, Michael. I might be biased here, but I think that could be hitting middle stump, but it's a leg by.
That sounded very good off the bat. Picked out deep cover where Luxton, who's had a very solid day out there, does the rest. Just 9 balls left. 200, the first thing coming to mind for Gloucestershire. They'd hope for more than that. The average winning score batting first here at Headingley across the last 4 seasons in a T20 game hovers around that 200 mark.
It's been a nice start from Hassan. He's nailed his variations and see what he's going to bring to Charlesworth here.
It's over-pitched, half volley, and that is one of the shots of the day. Stand and deliver with a straight bat through wide mid-off. And so a good over. That's a bit of damage put in it by Charlesworth.
It's a beautiful shot, just slightly wide. So he went straight Yorker and then he's opted to go wide on the wide line. And Charlesworth reading it perfectly and, yeah, as you say, slightly over-pitched and helped beautifully for a 1 bounce 4. See how he can come back from this as Charlesworth looks to take the last 2 for some more boundaries.
It's that wide Yorker a bit better that time, Hassan Ali, and Charlesworth can only drop his bat on it to get a single. Last season, Gloucestershire 7th in the South Group. A very streaky team 5 losses in a row, 4 wins in a row, which put them in qualification contention, then 4 losses from 5. They've started this season pretty well. Wins against Warwickshire, Glamorgan on the final ball, and then 7-wicket loss at Northant, so 2 victories from 3. This is mistimed. Catching chance for Bess, who makes no mistake. Price gone for 14. Hassan Ali finishes his spell with 3 for 29. Has been Yorkshire's most impressive bowler. 195 for 6 then, with just 1 over left.
Been absolutely awesome today, Hassan. He's had a plan. He's nailed it. And as we see the dismissal here, believe it's a slow ball. 71 miles an hour, definitely a slow ball. Slightly short of a good length, and he picks out long on, and Dunbess takes a fairly simple catch down at long on.
So Yorkshire chipping away as the innings goes on, the perfect way to just hold back that scoring rate.
You see Janssen to the crease. We were speaking earlier about the left-hand, right-hand, and for this last over, the right-hander does have the advantage with that breeze coming over to the Western Terrace. So Paul James Bracey's slid down even further, down to number 9, which potentially, if there's a wicket, they might have another right-hander they push in, but you'd think Bracey would come in ahead of that at 9.
Yeah, the nature of modern batting lineups, hey?
Yeah, you can change. Everyone will have the pads on down there, I imagine, whoever gets out there first. But as we see Ashraf taking the last over.
None for 39 off his 3 so far. Well timed, but that will be just 1.
Yeah, as you say, the winning score on average is around that 200 mark. So, and as a psychological thing, as a chasing team, if you see that you have to go over 10 and over, so if they get 201, 202, it sounds daft, but that can soon start adding up. If you lose a few wickets in the power play, it can soon go to 11 or 12 and bring pressure, because the pitch isn't going to change here at Headingley. It's such a good surface, it's not going to break up. But the scoreboard pressure is the thing that kind of holds you back chasing. So they'll look to try and get this above 200 if they can.
We'll be getting well above 200 here, Gloucestershire, unless Fahim can pull out one heck of a last 5 balls. To rebowl that, and it has escaped through a tumbling Bairstow. So Gloucestershire will get to 200 with 5 balls to spare, because that will be 5 wides in an innings where Yorkshire have been very tight in terms of extras. That's a bit of a freebie for the visitors.
That is a freebie. Johnny's done well not to lose a few teeth there, as it bobbled horrendously in front of him. Did well to save a trip to the dentist. You can see what he's trying to do again with the deep point, deep cover, and he's just mis-executed by about half a foot. It's small margins in T20 cricket, but it gives an extra boost to Gloucestershire.
Steps across and
beautifully
get much
executed.
of it.
Really lovely Yorker. Right on the toe of the bat. Really hard to get underneath.
And that's what he can do when he gets it right. Fahim Ashraf, Gavin Hamilton, Yorkshire's Director of Cricket, describing him as an experienced multi-format player who'll be a valuable addition to the squad. Can add quick lower order runs as well as variations at the death. He's going to draw on all of that here against Charlesworth, who is looking in decent fettle. He's hit a couple of nice boundaries already. Oh, and that is a lovely variation. They are going to get through for 1. Slow ball bouncer from Fahim Ashraf. That will be a bye.
It's a lovely option, that. You got third man and fine leg in the ring, so any extra pace is only going to aid the ball going down there. So taking the pace off is pretty smart. Beats Charlesworth for lack of pace. With 3 balls left, he's going to have to find a couple of variations. As Janssen is going to look to try and clear the ropes.
He's got plenty of that. And he's whacked out towards the old pavilion. Lovely shot from Janssen, putting those big levers to use, and when you chuck the wind in, it's going for 6.
What a gorgeous, effortless shot that was. Using the wrists and using his height. Barely moved his feet, but the wrists worked through the ball beautifully. We get a replay here. Possibly not, but again, they were beautiful. It's a wide long on. And he's not missed that by a lot there for him.
And it's those risks that help him access that gap. It means that he's not having to worry about Revis at long on. Can Janssen go again? Penultimate ball. Well, he's muscled this rather than timed it, but it's still going to go for 4. So Duan Janssen playing a gem of a cameo here, 11 off 3 with 1 left.
Pearl of an innings, this. This is the unsung hero of the Gloucestershire innings, I think. Gives you that extra boost going back into the changing room, knowing that you've taken the last over for potentially it could go for 20 if another ball finds the boundary. Gives that extra bit of momentum swing for when Gloucestershire come out and try and defend this total.
AJ Ty's final over in the Derbyshire game here last week went for 24, and had Ty not rescued it with the bat, that could have proved critical. Can Fahim finish off well? Well, that's down the ground. That is a classy, classy cricket shot from Duan Janssen. 15 off 4, 17 off 4, I should say. In fact, that is a splendid innings from him, and it has lifted Gloucestershire up to, even with a high-scoring ground like Headingley, what unquestionably is an above-par total, 219 for 6.
Again, what a cameo that is at the end. Janssen. Gloucestershire, from a pretty slow start in the power play, possibly going at just over 7s from their first 6 overs, have found a way to accelerate. Through short with a magnificent 82, aided by Phillips, 42 on T20 Blast debut as well. And then the cameo at the end really rounded it off. Moeen Ali, probably the pick of the bowlers for me, for Yorkshire, going at just over a run of ball, taking that crucial wicket, as well bowling in the power play, which were always crucial overs and really hard to nail down. But that's the way the T20 goes. Ashraf's gone for 60 there on another night. A few of them balls might have gone to hand and he might have taken a couple of wickets, but got to be credit to the Gloucestershire batsmen. They've really turned that innings around through the middle. There were barely any dot balls. They rotated the strike and found the boundary pretty regularly. And it's topped up with a great finish, and it's going to be a tough chase, but I think both teams are still in the game. Gloucestershire are going to have to look to attack early, take a few wickets. If they want to peg this Yorkshire team back, they've got to do it in the power play. If the likes of Johnny Bairstow, Moeen Ali, Adam Lyth, James Wharton, Will Luxon, it's a powerful top order. And if one of them, just need one of them to get going, get an 80, maybe 100, and Yorkshire will have a good chance. But I think the game's poised beautifully.
Nicely summed up by Noah Kelly. Just to confirm, it is 217 for 6. Our scoreboard taking a little second to fully catch up that last ball straight driven for 4 then. So we'll leave you with some highlights and also the Vertu Bullseye Challenges coming up very shortly on the live stream. And then the run chase will commence in just around 10 minutes or so. 218 to win for Yorkshire to make it 4 from 4.
Headingley, and we're back for the Vertu Bullseye Challenge.
We have our two contestants who scanned our QR codes, and today I'm just going to introduce you to
Matt.
Matt, fantastic. And where are you from?
I'm from Huddersfield.
Huddersfield, great place. And yourself, sir?
Gareth.
Gareth. And where are you from?
Manchester.
Manchester, excellent. Well, I should say boo. Anyway, moving on swiftly. So here we go, our Vertu Bullseye Challenge. We have 1 point for the outer ring, 5 points for the inner, 10 points for the bullseye. So you guys have got 5 chances. We'll start with you first, Matt, if you can do your 5 balls. Our leaderboard, the top was Lewis from last week, who managed to get 12 points. So if you guys can top that, we wish you all the best of luck, and off we go. It's nice, good start, strong. Oh, he's on just off the mat, but that was a good start, confident. Second throw in. Oh, he's too fast again, straight off the other side. Slow it down. He's got it. He's on the board. Oh, he's on a 5-pointer, that's good, we'll take that. And then again. And he's made it to the bullseye, and that's a 10 points. Solid, he's got one more throw. Oh, and another bullseye! Superb! Gareth, over to you. That was one of our, up there, one of our best bullseye challenges, I reckon. So no pressure whatsoever, off we go. It's good. Bit too quick, it's a bit too quick. Ooh, it's looking steady. Almost on that bullseye, but we'll take 5 points. Straight off the other edge. It's fast. 5 points. Oh, he's on 1 point, and last throw. And another 1 point, so today, unlucky Gareth, but at top of the leaderboard, it's Matt. So thank you very much, thank you everybody for joining in for the Vertu Bullseye Challenge today. Give them a round of applause, everybody. Superb, thank you guys.
So time for the run chase here at Headingley. A tough challenge awaits Adam Lythe and Johnny Bairstow. 218 to win. Powered by some very impressive work from particularly Darcy Short with 82. 42 from Joe Phillips as well. And then contributions all the way down the order. You can scan the QR code to vote in our Vertu poll. Who will hit the first 6 for Yorkshire today? Johnny Bairstow, Adam Live, Will Luxton and James Wharton, your possible contenders. You would think that Bairstow or Live will be the favourites. Live crashed 31 of 11 in the game against Derbyshire last Sunday, and Yorkshire need that kind of a fast start again in the chase. And alongside yours truly, Michael McCann. He was always a favourite of ours to have up in the Vertu commentary box. A very good afternoon once again to Noah Kelly. First ball of the reply is an absolute perler. That is lovely from Matt Taylor.
Bit of swing. The slips in play. They have got a 6-3 field with a vacant mid-wicket and only a deep backward square mid-on and fine leg in the ring. So there's a big gap at mid-wicket, but they'll be looking for Live to try and play that through mid-wicket with the swing away and the slip in play. So good aggressive start from Gloucestershire.
Live steps across a little this time. Straight at cover. It's that wind that we definitely saw Gloucestershire use very smartly. When you hit towards the east stand, it's with you. But when you hit towards the western terrace, the leg side for Live in this over, it's very much against you. 6-3 field, very clearly signposting skipper Taylor to bowler Taylor. Jack to Matt where he wants him to bowl. Live goes with nice guide off the back foot, gets him off the mark and running. And alongside me, very modest but well placed to talk about all things a run chase. Someone who once upon a time scored 3 T20 tons in a week. Club cricket in Melbourne a couple of years ago. I think that's 3 more T20 tons than most people get in a lifetime.
Very much. That's bigging it up a bit. Very fun T20 cricket. You get on a roll, you take momentum. Hopefully something similar today from Johnny or Adam.
Bairstow off and running, guides that away, uses the pace of Taylor. Clever shot, 4 runs. Perfect start for Yorkshire's captain.
Lovely start. Maybe didn't swing back as much as Taylor was hoping. The angle going across, just minimising the swing ever so slightly. He does come back a little bit. It's not that wide, but Johnny opens his body up, uses his hands and chops it down. You'd think with that motion, there's no third man in the game, just a deep point, and it races away at Headingley. It's a beautiful outfield today.
Oh, that's cut back from Taylor. It has Bairstow just looking down at his front foot in a way that pleases any opening bowler, thinking, what happened there?
I do like this start from Gloucestershire, opting for the left-arm swing bowler. They know wickets are crucial. They've still got the slip in, even though it's shaping back into Bairstow, so it shows the level of aggression Gloucestershire are going for. They know how important early wickets are in this power play.
Bairstow looking to flick that away. I think that was one of those LBW appeals that was more designed to distract the batters from the possibility of the leg bye than anything else. End of the first over. It's a good over all told from Taylor. Concedes just 6.
Baresi there going to grab his helmet. Looks like we're going to see some spin. Possibly in the second over, following suit from Yorkshire as Price takes his cap off and hands it to the umpire, and Bairstow's going to be on strike.
And remember that taking Craig Miles out and bringing Joe Phillips in was partially because of bolstering the batting. Obviously Phillips with his 42, but it's also because Phillips could be handy with the ball. So Gloucestershire, even before the first ball of the day, had their eyes on using a bit more spin than they have in the campaign so far. Their team was actually unchanged for the first 3 games. And they will have seen the success Yorkshire had with spin in the power play from Moeen Ali and Don Bess. Makes room and has hit this straight down the throat of Long On and is gone. Bairstow is out. That's a huge early wicket for Gloucestershire. Johnny Bairstow, superb in the win against Durham on Friday night for Yorkshire. Has to go for just 4 off 4. It's a wicket from his very first ball for Price. 6 for 1.
Huge wicket. Bairstow trying to give himself room and go over mid-off. And just a hint of bite off the surface, catches the inside edge. Lets go of it from the bottom hand and can only drag it to Long On, who takes a fairly simple catch in the end. But you can see the surprise of Johnny Bairstow, stands still after he hits the ball. He's clearly looking to use that offside a little bit more, but the hint of spin and has dragged it to Long On. You see by the celebrations there, it is a huge wicket and brings William Luxton to the crease.
Yeah, it's a very simple catch by his high standards for Miles Hammond, the kind of one he could have taken almost with his eyes closed. Bairstow was looking to access the gap wider of that mid-on, but a bit of bite in the surface made all the difference. Luxton, who's been short of runs this season, will get off the mark here. 27 runs at an average of 9 in his 2 county champ appearances, and then scores a 5 and 1 in the blast for Luxton, who's undoubtedly a cricketer with extreme talent. 90 not out in the Roses win for Yorkshire at Old Trafford last season, but can be tough when you're in and out of the side, the likes of Root and Brook around in the red ball stuff. Now Luxton trying to establish himself in the T20s. Live outside edge found by Price.
There's a little bit of spin. A little bit of spin here. That was slightly quicker, 58 miles an hour on the speed gun. Marinelli was sort of averaging sort of 51 in the power play, so opting for a quicker route here, Price.
Steps across this time. And they'll get one of something to the total. The leg by's signalled.
It's clever bowling. Sees Adam Lyth step across, takes all the pace out of it and draws it even wider. As he's into Luxton now.
Again, clever from Price, cramping the batter for room. Much like in the first innings, a slightly slow start. Remember that Gloucestershire might have ended up with 2-1-7 for 6, but they were 43 for 1 off the power play, which isn't rapid by Headingley standards. Short and cut right between backward point and cover point. Just waited and leant on it live. 13 for 1 off 2, his first boundary.
Great batting. Instead of fighting the spin and stepping across, a little bit of a shuffle across, but quickly backing away to the leg side and gives himself enough room to chop it down. And that is just Adam Lyth using all them years of experience. He's tried it one way, stepping across and trying to hit leg side. And in that case, he's just allowed the ball to spin, used his feet, and didn't overhit it. It's quite easy after you face a dot ball or a single to try and muscle it, but he's just let the ball come, let the outfield do the work, and he's found the boundary, which was much needed in that second over. His Price has bowled a very tidy over and prized out the wicket of Johnny Bairstow.
Now here comes Duan Jansen. I can tell you that the speed gun here, bar one of his more extreme slur balls, isn't going to be anywhere near the 50s. 6 for 8, 4 for 25 against Warwickshire, 3 for 25 at Glamorgan. He's having a great blast. And he's almost got Luxton first ball.
Yeah, he's been a star. He's been an absolute star of this attack. Tall, left arm, swings it, good pace. He's got all the attributes to be an excellent all-format bowler, and he's shown it. You know, taking 7 wickets already in just a few games. It's really exciting as a Gloucestershire fan to see him on so early.
Wasn't even meant to be their overseas player. It's funny the way things work out. It's nicely bowled again from Jansen. It was meant to be Liam Scott, who then got picked for Australia's ODI tours of Pakistan and Bangladesh, then was going to end up playing half the campaign, then ended up unavailable for that. And that was where Duan Jansen came in. Very, very handy addition.
Falling on the feet there, really.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Similar to Hassan, I believe.
Yep, absolutely.
He was a replacement.
Both Hassan and Fahim for Will Sutherland and Naveen Al-Haq.
It's a funny old game, cricket.
Into the midriff of Luxton. Some very hopeful LBW appeals from Jansen, one might say. Just to mention as well, the flag bearers on the way out. I'm a couple of overs or so late in giving them their dues, but worth saying, a big day for them from everyone at North Allerton Cricket Club, which has 12 academy teams across boys and girls. South of Middlesbrough, north of York, playing the NYSD or the Hambleton leagues, and I know they were really excited to be here and getting their moments at the start of both innings, and to get on the outfield as a nipper is a great thing. Live is turning this away. Live, you'd think in a chase like this would have the licence to go hard at the top, but you just wonder whether Bairstow getting out early plays on your mind.
Yeah, potentially. I think the beauty of Adam Live is he can play both roles. Cast your mind back to when he scored 161 down here against Northamptonshire. But Will Luxton scores very freely, naturally. So if he gets going, then Adam Live can possibly play that supporting role and bat through the innings. But I think there's going to be big 3 balls coming up. There hasn't been any runs. There's been 1 run off the bat. And the ball is swinging into Luxton.
Luxton just left prodding with a bit of uncertainty there. He's trying to access a similar gap to where Bairstow scored his only boundary, and he used that pace down to a wide third.
It started nicely again. Janssen just conceding 1 off the bat from his first 5 balls. He'll be looking to get out this over. He sends deep mid-wicket and brings deep point in, so he's really narrowing his focus towards the stumps, and he's almost spotlighting to Will Luxton where he's going to bowl. But he has that freedom with 1 ball left and 1 conceded.
Oh, and that's got through absolutely everything. Janssen can't believe it. He was hoping it had enough on it to shake back and tail in towards that off stump. 15 for 1 of 3 then, and even by his high standards, that is an exceptional over from Duan Janssen.
Absolutely fantastic over, yeah. Starting ever so slightly slow as we see Gavin Hamilton, Director of Cricket.
Sanjay Patel, the CEO, and shot there.
The 2 bosses.
The big bosses.
The bosses, yeah.
The big bosses. Lovely day for it. Lovely day for it here at Headingley. For this single header, this double header action next Friday. The women playing Durham and then the men facing Lancashire. Live is stepping away and getting 1 off Price, who understandably is back for more after a very good first over.
Yeah, we spoke about it after the Gloucestershire innings that this can quickly, the run rate can quickly climb, and it's already at 12 and over. Only 3 overs gone.
Making room. Clean stroke down the ground from Luxton. He hasn't got absolutely all of it, but he's got more than enough to get 4, and just relieves a bit of the pressure that was very much building on these 2.
Yeah, he didn't get all of it, Will Luxton, but mid-off in the ring. Again, opting to give himself a bit of room, and this is the sort of shot that Johnny was opting for. And Luxton on this occasion finds the gap and finds a much welcome boundary.
And goes again, and this time he has got all of it, and so he gets 6. Bang bang from Will Luxton, asking Price a different question, using his fancy footwork and turning it into a pair of half volleys.
That is awesome batting. The first one, Price is over pitch and his step hit, so he understands Price is going to bring his length back, and choosing to meet it and almost predicting where Price is going to bowl. He has to bowl at the stumps with this field, and he has to bring his length back. So Will Luxton using his feet, using that momentum, and it goes all the way for 6 this time. Awesome batting.
Voice of Luxton's teammate Noah Kelly, perfectly placed to pick apart what's going on out there. Eyes that in, and Luxton helps himself. And that's potentially gone for 6 through deep square. I think it bounced just in front, but 3 boundaries in a row.
I think that's an arm ball. Just from watching behind, the seam came up upright, so he's looked to fire it in a bit more. And he's used the pace of the arm ball, which I'm not sure if that's just clipped the rope or it started before.
It's one of those laws some aren't always aware of. If the ball hits the rope on the flush, it's 6. It's either hit the ball on the rope or it's hit just in front.
We'll take 6.
No complaints from Yorkshire. As Price, well, that's the game inside a game. Luxton steps away. Price tries to fire it wide. Fires it a little too wide. It's a massive over this for Yorkshire. It's already double the score in the innings from the start of it. 15 for 1 after 3. 16 off 4 legitimate balls here. Luxton goes again and just guides this. Doesn't try and do too much else. Really smart stuff from Will Luxton, who for the first time this season is really kicking into gear.
Yeah, Price a little bit all over the shop this over. You see the difference in the first over. When he took the wicket, he had the confidence. Now he's not quite sure where to go. He's gone full over the top. He's gone short over the top, and he's gone into the pad 6, and he's gone wide of the stumps. And he's gone for 4. So I think this last ball now, Luxie sort of just has to get off strike. We've already taken plenty from it. Get down the other end whilst you're on fire.
Well, Luxton instead goes again, and he might have gone, and he has gone. Jack Taylor, the visiting captain, takes the catch. It might have been a very expensive over from Ollie Price, but it also brings a wicket. 35 for 2 off 4. And Luxton, who looked $1 million at various points in that over, goes from the final ball of it for 20 off 12.
Yeah, just ever so slightly leaning back on that one. Will Luxton, and a simple enough catch to mid-off. And although it's been an expensive over, it's a big wicket. Luxton was finding his feet there. It brings James Wharton to the crease, who's had an excellent start to the Vitality Blast. Being a big feature in the Durham victory, that partnership with Johnny Bairstow. But yeah, big wicket for Gloucestershire. Price holds his nerve in the end. Last ball of the over, it's so important as a bowler to get out of it or take a wicket, and the wicket of Will Luxton has fallen. And the score is now 35 for 2 from 4 overs.
Yeah, that over went for 20 all told. So Wharton and Live must rebuild. Wharton having a very solid blast so far. 64 off 41 on Friday against Durham and 55 off 41 at Notts. So 50s in both away wins for Yorkshire. We'll have a seat at the non-strikers, though, because of the wicket falling from the final ball. Marchant de Lange, experienced seamer, enters the fray. Live with a typical Livian shot, one of his favourites, really. The swivel ball gets one.
Bit of extra bounce from de Lange. It's a big, strong bowler. Hits the wicket hard, extracts extra bounce if there is some. And as you say, that is a vintage shot from Adam Lloyd. They're just getting one on this occasion. And James Wharton, fresh to the crease, takes his guard and hopes to expand on his great start to the blast.
Starts with a shot in inverted commas. You don't see too often in T20 with a leave. De Lange so far in the last 2 for 9 against Warwickshire, 1 for 26 at Glamorgan, and none for 29 from his allocation at Northant. So he's been a key bankable option for Gloucestershire with the ball so far, the 35-year-old from South Africa. Oh, that was quick. That troubled Wharton. They skip through for 1, which is signalled as no signal runs.
I believe that was inside edge.
Oh, okay.
Onto thigh pad. There's a cry of catch. If there'd have been a leg gully or a short leg, there possibly was an opportunity. But again, that extra pace and bounce I was speaking about started just to trouble James Watt and Adam Live. But they'll adapt. Possibly sit deeper in the crease, try and look to use the bounce to their advantage as opposed to fighting it. Deep square and deep point are very far behind the square of the wicket, so they obviously are setting the fields accordingly. And as I say, that deep point is getting brought in and deep mid wickets going out. So possibly going to target the pads of Adam Live, not give him any room or width as he's so well known for putting away.
Live makes room and opens up that offside, which had a ring of 5. Well, it's a double bluff from de Lange, and Live was all too alert to it.
Fantastic creating the room again. And as I spoke about, with the deep mid-wicket, deep square, you know he has to sort of bring the stumps into play, and that is off stump. Possibly slightly outside, slight mis-execution, but backing away and using the pace, not trying to go over extra cover or mid-off, just chopping it over point. A glorious shot.
Same field then. De Lange surely has to look for those pads. Live again, makes room, similar ball, similar response, similar result. Live winning the battle, back-to-back 4s.
Absolute tracer bullet off the bat of Adam Live. That GM sounds beautiful. That has flown away to the east end. That one slightly straight off middle stump, but again, that same motion. The chopping down to point where the vacant man just was. Where the man just was, sorry.
And the field is, after quite a bit of deliberation, not going to change. So it's still that ring of 5 on the offside.
Has to go short. Has to go into the ribcage here with this field.
Does Live back away again. Instead stands tall and crunches it down the ground. Live. Almost went for 6. So the over finishes with 3 fours in a row. Yorkshire 49 for 2 off 5.
Awesome batting from... See how deep he is. Both feet in the crease, expecting it short, but alert to the full ball. And with mid-on up and a slower ball there, 71.6 miles an hour. Waits for it ever so slightly. And just does enough to clear the man in and get it away from the boundary. Lovely over, lovely finish to the over. Brings it back up to roughly 10 and over, 49 from the 5.
Yeah, and it also importantly keeps that required run rate below 12, because even in the modern era of teams, as Yorkshire have already shown in this blast, batting deep, once it gets above that, you really are kind of smoking pressure up at beyond 2 a ball. As Wharton looks to settle into his innings. Janssen, superb in his 1 over so far, went for just a single. Oh, what an absolute perler from Duan Janssen has done for the informed James Wharton. That is a peach. Wharton gone for 1. Janssen absolutely on fire. 49 for 3.
What a start to the over. You mentioned his first over went for only 1 off the bat. As we watch that again, there was definite movement away from the bat there. Using the angle across. Yeah, off cutter. Lands on middle stump. Takes off stump. Beautiful ball. Great start to his over. And it's a really important over, the 6th of the power play. It's the one where the batters, especially with only 2 wickets down at the time, can really start to excel.
It's just slightly nipped in and then gone away. And watch the reaction of Wharton. He almost looks down at the pitch in a half accusatory fashion, as if to say, what has that done? Top of off. Quite literally the top of off. And Moeen Ali, just like last Sunday when he walked in for his home debut against Derbyshire, has got to lead a bit of a rebuild job. He hit 51 off 35 in that win. Of course, the heroics of Hassan Ali and AJ Tai with that late partnership were the focus of it, but if Moeen hadn't have hit that 50, Yorkshire would have been so far behind the 8 ball that the game literally would have been beyond rescue. He's off the mark immediately.
Yeah, as you say, that was a very experienced knock, setting up the end. Hopefully for something similar here for Moeen, who had an excellent afternoon with the ball, conceding just 19, taking 1 wicket off his 3 overs.
Yeah, it always adds to your confidence as an all-rounder. It is a Yorkshire team packed full of them. A Yorkshire side that does keep coming at you with the bat, with the likes of Ashraf, Tai, Hassan Ali, Matt Revis, Dom Best, Jaffa Chauhan, all slated to come in. It's a deep lineup, but it's a Gloucestershire team who've been really good with the ball, and they're showing it again. Janssen flirts with the wide line and does bowl the wide. I took a second to be sure.
Good judgment that from Adam Live. Very hard to tell as a batsman there whether it's going to be in or not. And if you make the wrong call, you look pretty silly. So it's a good decision there from Adam. But Janssen's been absolutely superb. We mentioned it before the innings that he was their key. Gloucestershire, and he's shown why.
He's helped this away Live. He knows where his gaps are, and he gets 6 towards the east stand. Fetching Janssen from outside off, and finally Yorkshire giving the impressive Quick something to think about.
Slog sweep. As if he was a spinner. That is a gorgeous shot. He's not a tall man, Adam Live. Gets down low, again them wrists, getting underneath the ball and helping it over deep mid-wicket. Ball that, from the face of it, didn't look like it deserved to go over deep mid-wicket, but Adam Live creating that gap for himself.
Live goes again, but this is a catching chance right out on the row, but the wind takes it over. Well, that's a perfect example of the breeze in action here at Headingley today. And it's that wind that is the reason why Live mistimes it, but still gets 6.
Went high. High. You can tell by the hands there from very low to the ground went up. But same result. Bit of pressure now for Janssen to get out of these last 2 balls. Interesting to see what Adam Lyth does. Already 3 down in the power play. Might just look to damage control, get off strike, come out of the power play, only 3 down, and look to build after that.
Run rate has gone above the required run rate for the first time in the innings. Lovely response from Janssen. There's a look from Live back to the bowler who turned around already. A look of frustration, but almost an admiring glance at the bowler as if to say, fair enough.
Fair enough. Bit of pace off that one. But he's dragged his length back ever so slightly, understanding that Live wants to get low to the ground. So last ball of the power play. Yes. Janssen, despite being hit for back-to-back 6s, is only off 15 from his 9 balls, including a wicket.
And this is short, and it has got up and over the offside. Live again slightly mistiming it, but does travel quick across those practice pitches. So 2 more. Contrasting power plays for both teams. 43 for 1 Gloucestershire as they steadily built before rapidly accelerating. Yorkshire are well ahead of them in terms of runs, with 65 on the board, but have lost 3 top-order wickets.
Yeah, I think Gloucestershire will be probably the most happy with the power play. The 3 wickets is really key in a run chase. However, they've done really well, Yorkshire, to keep the run rate up. Often you see with wickets that the run rate will start to drop, but to keep it, almost 11, the run rate is they're going at 10.8. The required is 10.9. So there's barely anything in between. As we see now, left arm wrist spin being brought in, which is a very aggressive move to try and take wickets, I believe. If they can get this 4 or 5 down.
Darcy short on. Starts one that's a little too short. Moeen Ali will only get 1 though. Smart work from Miles Hammond out in the deep. Short, who batted very well earlier for his 82 and has always consistently offered a different option. You tend to see him bowl on games like this where captain senses they need a bit more spin in the lineup. Live wants 2 here. Well, briefly wanted 2, I think, then realised the folly of the suggestion.
It's a good move from Gloucestershire captain. Spinning away from the 2 left-handers. It's a good matchup.
Getting another single for Moeen. Vast experience between these 2 out in the middle. They'll be all too aware that, particularly at a quick scoring ground like Headingley, there's no need for Yorkshire to panic at this point. Down the track, Live. He's absolutely thumped that. That goes comfortably over the ropes off short. It's relatively rare these days you see Live charging spin, but he's done that there magnificently.
Full swing of the bat. And just like that, the over's gone for 9 already off 4 balls. Beautiful swing, almost like a golf swing.
Yeah, if that was a par 5, he's put that
A1
on the fairway with every chance of chipping onto the green in 2. This time goes deeper in his crease. So almost a bit of old school in the thinking and the construction this over. 4 singles, got the boundary. And because it's a 6, of course, they've got their 10 with 1 needed. 1 left, I should say. Is that one a bit of flight, trying to tease and tempt Moeen, who can't pierce the gap at cover. End of the over after a few thoughts from Noah Kelly. We'll be joined by Aaron Vals.
It's been an awesome start from Adam Lyth. 42 from just 19 deliveries, showing how capable he is at scoring at such a quick rate, going at over 200 strike rate, much like he did the other night. As we see Delanger being brought on from the Kirkstall Lane end. That pace and bounce we mentioned earlier. Well, into 2 left-handers in Adam Lyth and Moeen Ali, who will look to hopefully cause the most damage from a Yorkshire's point of view in this run chase. 2 very experienced guys with many, many T20s between them.
Indeed they do. Just looking at the numbers, over 650 between the pair of them.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely staggering. Here is Delanger then from the Kirkstall Lane end. Lyth preempts the movement. That has stayed within the tram line, so that will not be a wide.
Yeah, a bit of bizarre delivery, that. Full toss wide, but because Adam went back to where, I don't think he quite picked it up. You're not quite expecting the ball to be there. So it's a dot nonetheless. So Delanga will be happy with the start.
Yeah, dot ball is a hot ball, isn't it? For the bowlers. Yet again, Live just shuffling across. This time just plants it out towards point for one. This does feel like quite a crucial partnership, doesn't it? Two left-handers, of course. Cross breeze going across towards the east stand. Can either of these two pick up on that and, well, dispatch it into the crowd?
Slight deliberation about the field here. Currently got deep mid-wicket, deep square, fine leg, third man and deep cover out. Mid-off, mid-on, opting to be in the ring, so presumably can't go too full with this field. Anything over pitch would go back over his head, so opting to go into the wicket.
Oh, well, Ali has a little bit of a waft and a wave at that one.
And I think with Dalanga's bounce, it has to be really full to get it back over the bowler's head. You know, he's naturally going to create more bounce and pace, so the ball is naturally going to go square with the wicket, which at Headingley with the practice wicket goes right across the square, so it absolutely races away. So having your scouts out there is a wise move.
Ali that time just guiding that one towards backward point. Good tumbling stop there. I think it's Ben Charlesworth in that fielding position. I mean, for yourself, Noah, just looking at this field as it is right now, how would you go about it in terms of your scoring options? What would you say would be your go-to here against Delanga?
I think sitting deep and waiting for anything on my hip and trying to beat deep square. I think if you get too focused with mid-off, mid-on in the ring and trying to go against the bounce, you often get a splice or you don't quite time it. So I'd be looking to use Delanga's bounce and actually say, if this comes in my area, I'm going to try and take on deep square. And Adam Lyth is so good off his width, and we're looking at deep backward point as well. There's a massive gap there using the pace.
This time, looks to rifle that one through extra cover. Good stop there, Miles Hammond. He's gone down in a little bit of a heap there, just ringing the wrist and the shoulder. Thankfully appears to be okay. Has a smile on his face.
It's a hard outfield at the minute. Dry conditions, elbows be taking a batter and diving around at extra cover. Never a nice feeling.
No, it certainly isn't. Good stop though, wasn't it, from Hammond? Final delivery of the over then. Ali really swings the hands through that one. Just loops really down towards deep third, and that'll be a single to round out the over. So Yorkshire are 79 for 3 after 8. We'll have a quick change here in the commentary box as we shall say farewell to Noah Kelly for the time being. We'll hear more of his dulcet tones a little bit later on in the run chase, and it's a pleasure and a privilege to welcome back into the comms box the one and only Maroof Khan.
Thanks, Aaron. 79 for 3 after 8 overs. 3 wickets lost in that power play. Not many teams come back from it. Having said that, still at 11 no runs and over is not that bad.
Well, here is Ollie Price then, against the two left-handers, looking to utilise that matchup. Starts off by conceding the single there to Moeen Ali.
Adam Lyth has looked good today. He's really, just like Darcy Short, is pacing his innings quite nicely.
Oh, that one. Really good variation, that, from Ollie Price. You can see, again, it was almost premeditated, the footwork there from Lyth. Again, just forces it out wide against the left-hander. Real nice battle, this, between the two. Smartly played there by Adam Lyth. Of course, here for Yorkshire, we did see as the Gloucestershire innings went along, there was that level of acceleration. Let's not forget that after 10 overs, the visitors were 86 for 1. So when it comes to run scoring, you'd argue that Yorkshire are ahead. The issue has been those 3 wickets of Bairstow, Luxton and Wharton. This time Ali advances down the track, looks to beat the fielder at long off. It will just be a single. Great work down there by the debutant Joe Phillips.
That is correct. I think also it's important how you pace your innings. I think Gloucestershire just lost 1 wicket in the first 10 overs, had wickets in hand.
This time the reverse attempted and it will be stopped. Well, half stopped really by Delanga. Single is still taken by the Yorkshire pairing.
Just on that shot, really, it's been a while since I've seen Adam Light play a reverse sweep. He's so conventional and so pleasing to the eye. You know, works on the pace on the bowler and uses his spots quite wisely. On this occasion, it was quite different.
Twice this time to Ali. Again, just looking to utilise the angle there to beat the fielder. Can't quite get it beyond Ben Charlesworth, and that will be the end of the over. Another tidy one as far as Gloucestershire are concerned. Yorkshire are 83 for 3 after 9. So well placed with regards to run scoring, but they need partnerships, and that was the big thing between Joe Phillips and, of course, a certain Darcy Short. Those two putting on 95. It just set a real solid foundation, didn't it, for Gloucestershire?
That's right, and also that partnership was quite crucial as well, because having said that, come the 15th to the 17th over, Gloucestershire lost quite a hustle of wickets as well. It really helped to keep the momentum, and then obviously the great knock of like 20-odd runs in the last over was quite crucial for Janssen as well. So yes, at the end of it, 218-odd runs, good chase.
Here is Matt Taylor then, and that one has been rifled just over the top of the diving Janssen. Good effort from the South African. Just enough elevation on it from Adam Lyth, and that is a wonderful half-century for the Yorkshire opener. 5 fours, 3 sixes. Headingley rises to its feet, and rightfully so. He has been terrific so far, but he will know, Maroof, the job is certainly not done yet.
Absolutely. Good knock by Adam Lyth. I think he was due to get runs at Headingley. He likes batting here as well. I mean, going at about, 200 strike rate at this point was very good. Very smart as well.
Here is Taylor for take 2 then. That one may just beat the fielder. Oh, it does. Just ricochets off the palm there of Joe Phillips. He did well initially to make the ground. And just as he tried to swat it back into the field of play, spins off the outstretched palm for 4.
This particular field is in Adam Lyth's favour as well. He doesn't have any protection on deep mid-wicket side. And Matt Taylor on this occasion going a little short. Adam Lyth just making sure he's working towards the ball. Momentum in his favour. Over long on for 4 runs.
That one turned into a full toss by Adam Lyth. Just whips it away down towards deep square for 1. Yeah, just been informed by our colleague Michael McCann. That is Adam Lyth's first 50 in the T20 Blast for nearly 2 years. His last one was in 2024. So last season, struggled immensely, had a high score of 38 in 2025. So that is really good to see. Sally this time fishes at a short and wide one.
Yeah, I think it's surprising because I think Adam Lyth is such an all-format player. He gets runs all year round. And looking at it this year as well in the red ball cricket, he's got so many runs. Doesn't feel that's a bit of surprise to me when you said that it's his first 50 in a couple of seasons. All the more better for Adam Lyth to make sure it count.
Oh, Moeen Ali, that is impeccable. Stand and deliver stuff from the former England international. Textbook.
Not an easy shot, that. Not an easy. Watch the way the back left is. In line, waits the ball to come to it. Free swing of the bat. Great shot above extra cover for 6 runs. It'll be good to see Moeen Ali with the golf club in his hand. It looks like a very good swing, that.
He's just such an aesthetically pleasing cricketer, isn't he? Real languid flow of the bat. Really is a delight to watch. Expensive over this from Matt Taylor. Sally again just shuffles onto middle stump, plays that through mid-wicket, and that'll be a single to round out the over. A much better one for the home side. At the halfway mark, Yorkshire are 99 for 3 as the 50 partnership comes up between Moeen Ali and Adam Lyth.
As the crowd sit down and have a good chuckle as what's going on. 99 for 3. Maybe a wicket too many lost by Yorkshire at this stage. Having said that, sitting pretty, 60 balls, 119 to get wickets in hand. Last few overs could be crucial.
Here is Darcy Short once more. Love to see a bit of left arm wrist spin. Really is one of the great sights in the game. Here he is against Moeen Ali, who looks to heave that away on the leg side. Should just be a single. Indeed it will be. Of course, Moeen last season would have been very familiar with facing left arm wrist spin as the 100 comes up for the home side. Yeah, we'll have had many a battle with Jake Lintop in the nets at Edgbaston. Can he get one over the Australian today? Here is Short, this time to Adam Lyth. Push square of the wicket for one.
Interesting cat and mouse phase of the game. Darcy Short changing his pace as well, not giving rooms to either Moeen or Adam Lyth.
Well, Ali, that has gone aerial. This could be a catching chance. It'll be taken as well at deep mid-wickets. Miles Hammond it is. The reaction from the Gloucestershire fielders tells you all you need to know. They know that is a big wicket. Moeen, in terms of strike rates, wasn't exactly copycatting Adam Lyth, but already seen that massive six. His race is run today. Yorkshire 101 for 4, and the change of bowler does exactly the trick.
Yeah, a short ball really, once again, goes to show how difficult it is to hit the ball in the wind. Then, kept going up in the air, not much distance. And a safe catch there, deep mid-wicket, a big, big wicket.
Well, coming in at number 6 is Matt Revis. Of course, who we saw against Durham, come in at number 9. He's certainly not a number 9, let me tell you that. He is a certified all-rounder. Very tall, very powerful. Someone who is known for his boundary hitting and clearing the ropes. So this will be interesting with Darcy Short, given where the wind is going across the ground here. If he drops it short, could be getting sent into the east stand. Oh, he's gone first ball. Simple, caught and bowled for Darcy Short, and Revis departs for a golden duck. Maybe done there by a little bit of dip and flight. Short comparatively taking off the pace of that latest delivery. Well, Yorkshire now really beginning to wobble. Maroof, what did you make of that latest dismissal?
Yeah, ball just pitched up, really. Easy pickings, stopped on it a bit. Nothing much in the ball, really, but good hands by Darcy Short. Trying to, now at this stage, 2 wickets in 4 balls, trying to turn the game on its head.
Well, not only is it 2 wickets in 4 balls overall, it's 2 in 2. So Darcy Short is on for a hat-trick here, and it will be Fahim Ashraf on his home debut for Yorkshire County Cricket Club to face off against the left-arm wrist spinner. Here we go then. Short it is to Ashraf. Full toss, dispatched really, square of the wicket. Maybe could be 2, in fact it will be 2. Good running there between the 2 southpaw hitters.
A bit of a shock around the ground as well, From nowhere, 2 wickets lost.
It's the nature of the game though, isn't it? Yet again, a little bit of a drag down there by Darcy Short. Muscle down towards long on for 1. And that will be the end of the over. A brilliant over as far as Gloucestershire are concerned. Yorkshire losing 2 wickets in that latest one. The first was Moeen Ali to break the partnership around the 50-run mark. And then Matt Revis gone first ball by really slow and flighted delivery from the Australian.
And you can see on the screens as well the pace of which Darcy Short has bowled these overs as well. The one that he slowed the pace down is where he got the cotton bowled as well. So, very intelligent bowling, keeping the stumps in play at all times.
Yeah, it was smart, wasn't it, from Shaw. Here is Ollie Price then, for what will be his final over. Sends that one wide. The umpire straight away just stretches one of the arms out, follows suit with the left as well. Will be given as an extra. That one played a lot more assertively by Ashraf.
Ollie Price in his last over of the spell. He's already got 2 wickets for 30-odd runs. I think he's done a great job.
That one down the leg side will be given as a wide. Well, that was one of the big conversations even prior to today's game. I know that at the toss, Jack Taylor mentioned it to Michael. The emphasis on spin. Now, if you were to look at the two teams in isolation, you'd argue Yorkshire had the better spin attack on paper. However, Ollie Price has done a very good job. Darcy Short there has really broken through in the middle order. And of course, if Jack Taylor wants to bowl himself, you've got another leg spin option there. It's a good take by James Bracey.
Yeah, those 2 wickets as well, allowing Ollie Price to really control the game. He's changing the pace. He's watching the batters very closely, making sure he's not giving them anything to have a free hit in the arc.
On bowled straighter.
There again, constantly changing the pace.
Yeah, it's certainly been the way to go today, hasn't it? With the spin bowlers. It's not always about variations with regards to how you're gripping the cricket ball. Pace is a big factor as well. Ashraf reaching for that one. Snatches the shot. Should just be a single. I always look at the DLS at this stage as well, Maroof. Of course, there's no danger of the game being washed out today. But Yorkshire just falling behind there quite significantly since the wicket of Moeen Ali. Now 26 runs behind where that theoretical DLS would be. That one straight again by Ollie Price. Only the single scored. So Yorkshire are 110 for 5. Adam Lyth is well placed on 58, but he needs some company. He needs a partner. Can Fahim Ashraf be the man to deliver the stand?
Yeah, the crowd's still enjoying it. A little shell shock with those 2 wickets, but still they're coming in numbers. Yorkshire's had the wins in the last 3 games as well. The momentum as well in the previous game against Derbyshire here. And I think for Yorkshire to do well, one of these 2 battles have to go to the very end.
Certainly do. Well, it will be Shorts, unsurprisingly, to continue. And Lyth advances again and plays that one quite majestically. Will spin away down towards the old pavilion. Ripples of applause will follow. Glorious stuff, that's.
Once again, seizing the opportunity there. Darcy shot goes a little wide. Adam Lyth steps into it, throws his hand at it, vacant extra cover region above. Great shot for 4 runs.
And again, proactive batting meets the pitch of the ball. A single down towards Miles Hammond. Just wanted to make the comparison as well in the 2 innings so far. Mentioned that Gloucestershire were almost behind the 8 ball at 86 for 1 in their first innings. As Ashraf has been clean bowled, Darcy Short is on a tear. It's 3 now for the Australian left-arm wrist spinner. And Yorkshire beginning to teeter on a bit of a collapse. The White Rose 115 for 6. And Fahim Ashraf on his home debut for the White Rose is gone for 5.
Yeah, once again a change of pace there. Quick ball. Ashraf going back to the ball. He could have played forward. Really misses the line completely. A nothing ball, a nothing shot. Not a good day for Fahim Ashraf today.
Fortunately not. Well, Don Bess will be the latest man to enter the middle. Going back to that point, though, Gloucestershire in the 11th over scored 20 runs. Then they scored 13. They had a little bit of a wobble in the 13th when they scored only 6 runs. But even after that, they had overs of 15 and 21 in the next few. So they really capitalised on overs 10 to 15. By comparison, well, Yorkshire, they've scored 16 runs for the loss of 3 wickets. 115 for 6.
In a nutshell, tells you where the game's at right now. Duckworth Lewis is also showing 150 at the moment.
Yeah, they've just gone behind the 8 ball here. Have the hosts on best starts off by scoring a single.
Yeah, Yorkshire just need to try and build something, you know, at least for the next 6 to 8 balls, really. See how it transpires. They do bat deep.
Well, it does feel as though Lythe is the wicket now for the game. Exactly 100 runs needed. There's a shy at the non-striker's end. Best puts in the dive and gets applauded by the home faithful.
Yeah, that's quite brave running, if you ask me. Also, having said that, really, I think just the conversation, taking nothing away from Gloucestershire, really, they have actually kept themselves in the game, consistently picking up wickets in the middle overs.
That one just a drop and run, really, by Adam Lythe. That'll be a single to round out the over. Well, Darcy Shorts, what a day this man is having. Scored 82. Was the high score for Gloucestershire early on. Scored 7 fours and 5 sixes on his way to that 80-plus score. And well, he has been the catalyst, the X-factor for the West Country outfit here in the run chase as well. With 3 for 24 from his 3 overs. Of course, Ollie Price has been bowled out, so there will be a change here from the Kirkstall Lane end, and it will be the speedster, Marchant de Lange.
Yeah, probably if you ask Darcy Short what he would enjoy the most, it could be his 3 wickets for 24 than the 84 runs, because he expected to score the runs. It was those 3 wickets in the middle overs, and tough overs as well. He's had a great day all round.
Certainly has. Here is de Lange then to Lythe. Lythe, well, that has gone up in the air. He's split the gap, though, and in fact, it'll go for 4. 2 Gloucestershire fielders head after it in pursuits. Just enough. Did the veteran opener. Neither Janssen nor Taylor could sprint quickly enough to get back down the ground.
Yes, once again, Lythe is really making sure he's not behind the 8 ball in terms of the run rate. Whenever he has an opportunity, he is scoring runs for Yorkshire. Not a good ball, really, by de Lange, considering the field that he has.
Well, that one very full, crisply driven. Only as far as Joe Phillips, who's there in the covers.
Yeah, once again, I think got away with that because had like 5 meters on either side, would have been 4 runs. There is no protection at the back. Also, one thing to notice as well, Aaron, I haven't seen many bowlers bowl round the wicket today from this end. I'm not sure why.
No, you're right. We've seen it from the Howard stand end. Hassan Ali was doing it against the left-handers. But maybe, and I think this is probably what it is, it's the angle. Because if you go a little bit too straight down the leg side, it's an easy pick-up for 6. So they're just trying to hang it off the off-stump. Oh, that's brilliantly driven. Full-blooded from Adam Lythe. 0 stopping that one as it thunders into the Western Terrace.
Yeah, lone battle by Adam Lythe. That's exactly what I meant the previous ball as well. 5 yards either side would be 4 runs. Too much of room given to Adam Lythe. Waits for the opportunity and slashes really hard towards the ball. Great 4 runs. Much needed for Yorkshire.
Yet again, though, he's doing this premeditated movement. It's a little bit of mind games with the bowlers. Let's see if he does it again here. Shuffles a little bit more orthodoxly there. Won't quite get the same degree of success with the latest shot, just a single scored, but it's really good to see this from Adam Lythe, and it's a shame because in isolation, it's a very, very similar knock to what we saw from Darcy Short in Gloucestershire's innings. The problem is, no one has been able to stick alongside him.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly what Adam Lythe must be having this conversation with Doppers and every other batter coming later on. Just to stick with him and try and take the game deep.
Here is Bess on strike. That will just fall short of the fielder. Deep square. Another single added.
That's a real fast ball, that. Marshall Delang trying to really tuck in Dombes with that pace, and when not in his favour.
We're just going on to the story of his pace. Not sure how well known a story it is, but Delanga, when he was a bit younger, was quite a keen javelin thrower. So he has got very, very strong shoulders. That one looks to be hammered away. Square of the wicket by Lyth will just be a single. That will round out the 14th over. Yorkshire are 130 for 6. The home side require 88 from the remaining 6 overs to make it 4 wins on the spin.
Such wonderful scenes there, Michael. Apologies, Aaron. Don't know why I keep calling you Michael, but having said that, Michael is not really around, so do take that. The crowd's really enjoying it themselves, Aaron. Really coming in numbers and really having a file, you know.
Lyth there looking to cross back that one. It's a little skip down the ground. It's also one of the great sights and sounds, isn't it? That Western Terrace. The shouts of Yorkshire ring out here. This most storied of cricketing venues. As Best goes for the sweep. Again, that one was orchestrated by the Yorkshire all-rounder. Didn't quite pick the delivery out of the hand. Very dangerous to do that against Darcy Short. Well, that one pitched up invitingly, and Don Best dispatches it, gun barrel straight for 4. That's more like it.
Yeah, don't underestimate Don Best's batting. He is a fairly strong lower middle order batter. He's got hundreds in red ball cricket as well, so he knows exactly what he's doing.
Just held his shape, didn't he? So that one has been chopped on, and Don Best will go. Darcy Short has got a 4th wicket here at Headingley, and he has been a one-man army for the glorious Gloucesters in this, the first T20 meeting between these two historic sides. Best goes for 6. Yorkshire now 135 for 7. And yet again, Maroof, the partnership just couldn't build.
Couldn't build again. Oh, that's a bit unlucky, that, between the legs. Ricochets off his in a thigh and then onto the stumps, really.
See, initially I thought he'd got a bit of bat onto his thigh. It's just come straight off the thigh, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That is unfortunate.
That shot was definitely on. Darcy Short hurried that ball through as well. Don Best not getting much time to throw his hand at it. Little late on that shot, inside of the thigh onto the stumps.
Well, it will be AJ Ty then to walk out into the middle. Darcy Short, 4 for 29. Can he make it 5? There's shouts of catch it. Fall short of the fielder patrolling at long off. And that will round out a scintillating spell of wrist spin bowling, or in fact, it won't. He's got one more in the tank. Scoreboard's gone a little bit early, so too have we here in the commentary box. What's Lyth squared up by that latest one. Take 2 on that. That will now round out a wonderful spell of bowling from Darcy Short. 31. Well, that is exceptional.
That's as good as getting 100 when you're batting in T20 cricket. 4 wickets for 31 runs, followed by 80-odd runs in the first innings. A good all-round strong performance from Darcy Short, taking Gloucestershire as close as possible to the win.
It's not quite his career best in the T20 format. That would be 5 for 21. Even so, he's done an amazing job here today. Matt Taylor bowling here from the Kirksall Lane ends. Drilled very square of the wicket. Well, the two Taylor brothers just having a bit of a conversation there. Just looking at the field. Long on in play. Deep point. Deep mid-wicket. Deep square. Of course, Jack Taylor this is. Moves down to long off. So a little bit of a spread field. That'll be a leg bite.
Yeah, I think Gloucestershire has also realised the fact that lack of pace on the ball is the go-to really. It's been difficult for the batters from both sides to be able to make any kind of good connection on those balls.
That one very full from Taylor. Oh, he doesn't get the desired connection on the ball. Tell you what though, if Gloucestershire do see out this game, what a start it will be for the West Country outfit in the Central and West group. It's live. Again, that is uppish. He may have split the gap between all three fielders. Indeed he does. The backspin takes it away for 4. Adam Lyth continues to go about his business in fine fettle.
Still fighting in there. Still giving it a shot. Width offered by short. Matt Taylor. And great hands again. Nobody behind square to do anything. Adam Lyth finding the lone battle here for Yorkshire.
Certainly is. He's now on 83. Yet again, shuffles across. Goodness me. Well, Lyth has been taken out by that one. Immediately it's been called for a no ball. Matt Taylor will come straight across to offer an apology. Thankfully, Lyth is okay. I mean, you never, ever want to see that in the game of cricket. It's completely accidental. Taylor has not done that on purpose, but goodness me, it's always a scary sight.
Yeah, and good to see the team spirit as well. You know, Taylor just walking up to Lyth, offering his apologies. Lyth puts his glove up, you know. Good fist bump there. Everything looks to be in order. Adam Lyth says he's all right, asks the physio to get back. Seems to be in good rhythm. Wants to keep batting and try and take the game as close as possible. 74 needed of 26 balls.
Here we go then. Lyth remains on 83. Slightly short of a length there. Hammered away. Hammered handsomely for 4. Despite the attempts at the dive. Beats the efforts of Ollie Price. Spirals away for 4.
Yeah, a little short. Expected it. Bisecting the gap. Good batting. 4 runs. Much needed.
Certainly is. I mean, it's still an almighty mountain to climb here for the home team. 70 runs required. Lyth again. He's carved it away. And that'll go for 4 more. There's nobody out there towards deep backward points. It's been a consistent area of success for the Yorkshire opener. And that brings up the 150 for the White Rose. Also brings the end of the over. Also brings a little bit of Sweet Caroline as we have a change here in the commentary box. Noah Kelly will replace the excellent Maroof Khan. One of the truly great songs when it comes to the Vitality T20 Blast, and it's a pleasure to welcome back the great Noah Kelly.
Thank you very much. A few wickets have fallen.
They have, yep.
But when Adam Lyth's at the crease, anything is possible.
Certainly is. Here is Duan Janssen then. And up first, that one has gone a mile up in the air. The bowler will call for it, and Janssen takes the grab comfortably in the end. Goodness me. Well, it's a good decision that he made there to make the call nice and early. Couple of fielders surrounding him. That is a good grab from the South African. Yorkshire now 8 down.
What a tough catch that was. Never easy. See, it spirals on him in the last second and takes an awesome catch off his own bowling. As you say there, extra cover comes charging in, but Janssen says, no, this is mine.
Well, in the end, he's actually done a really good job there. It's not as though he's had to stick out one palm and he's made a meal of it. He's done a really good job there, as Janssen. Really did. Quite a bit of hang time as well. Yeah, what a signing he's been. Let's not forget that he was drafted in as a replacement for Liam Scott. He's come in, immediately made an impact. He's here for the first 6 games for the West Country outfits. Next into bat for Yorkshire will be the ever-entertaining Hassan Ali. He's known for clubbing a few sixes. He's the Pakistan international. He's going to have to hit quite a few of them to get Yorkshire even remotely close here. The requirement 66 from 23. First ball, he attempts one, and he's gone first ball. Hassan Ali departs for a golden duck. Duan Janssen will become the latest Gloucestershire bowler to have a chance at a hat-trick today, after Darcy Short took 2 in 2 a little bit earlier on. Good catch out at long on, and well,
sounded good from up here. It's a good bat swing. Just maybe bat just tilts in his hand on the connection, and a simple catch down at long on, and brings Jaffa Chauhan to the crease, batting 11. But I will say he's a much more capable batter than a number 11. It just happens to be that we've got a lot of our bowlers are very capable of batting, and that is the draw this year, that he has been coming down in at 10 and 11. But he's got a bit of a job to do if he wants to get Adam his 100. I think he's going to have to try and work this to the leg side, potentially get a single, and hope Adam pulls something rather remarkable out of the bag. I would have fair to say from here, it would need a near enough miracle. But Adam Lythe at the crease, anything's possible. They are dragging extra cover across to mid-wicket, so employing a 4-5 field, biased towards the leg side, possibly in on the catch at mid-wicket. So it's going to be into the ribs. Here he is.
Indeed it is. Janssen bowling to Chauhan. He's done well there to see off the hat-trick ball. Just guides it, pushes it down towards long off for the single. And it will bring Adam Lythe back onto strike. As you said, though, Noah, I mean, this would take a really Herculean effort. It's not just the amount of runs, but of course the number of deliveries remaining in the chase itself.
And 9 down as well. There's no margin for error from Adam or Jaffa. But we'll see what Adam can do. He'll be determined to score his 100 and hopefully push on.
Just rocks onto the back foot, plays it down towards the fielder at long on. Staggering to think, isn't it, that Adam Lythe's 161 against Northamptonshire, that was back in 2017, is the only time that he's brought up 3 figures in the format. Of course, we mentioned the stat earlier, over 5,000 career runs, 220 plus appearances. Even though it does appear to be a bridge too far, would be great for Lythe's confidence. Here is Janssen, though, to Chauhan. Tucks it away down towards backward square for 1.
Janssen's been absolutely outstanding. Probably been the pick of the bowlers all day, taking 3 for, going at, potentially could go at around 7 and over if he closes out this over. On a ground where, you know, looks like 210 was probably par. You know, 10 and over to go at near enough 7 and over and take 3 wickets has been absolutely exceptional.
Really has been. Here is the South African then. We'll have to reload that one. Bowls it down the leg side for a wide. Also have a change of commentary at the end of this over. I shall make way for Michael McCann.
There is something to play for here for Yorkshire. The net run rate is a huge factor. You know, they've got to extend this chase out, and it's very unlikely we're going to get over the line here, but if they can take this right to the wire, then it only helps net run rate.
Certainly does. Slide just turns that down towards fine leg for the single. So Yorkshire 157 for 9. I'll make way then, and I'll leave you with some words of wisdom courtesy of Yorkshire batter Noah Kelly.
Delanga is going to be brought on from the Kirkstall lane end. Hopefully able to nip this innings in the bud from a Gloucestershire's point of view. Adam Lythe, 93, 7 short of a second career T20 100, in which is looking like possibly in a losing effort, but he has scored 93 out of the 157, and he has been all class today, Adam Ladd.
Yeah, welcome return to form. It is remarkable to think, given his impressive career record in T20 cricket, that he missed 6 games last season being dropped on form, with Will Luxton in the runs, live with 162 at an average of 20. And this is his first 50-plus score since 2024. Live is 7 off his ton, and now he's 3 off his ton. Down the ground for 4.
Overpitched. Doesn't matter who's on 93 or it's his first ball. I think Adam Ladd's hitting that for 4. He does crisply down the ground.
It's a very welcome return to T20 form for Adam Ladd. Of course, has very consistently been in red ball runs across the last few county championship seasons. Live 1 boundary away from the magical 3 figures. Tries to absolutely clobber that, and it has absolutely clobbered him, and that's hurt Live. That's really hurt Live. That's got him clearly in that awkward kind of spot just above the pad, but where the thigh pad doesn't quite cover it either. And for a man that very rarely shows any pain at all, tough as Yorkshire old boots, he's in some discomfort.
He went off picture there. He ran off. I thought he was off to celebrate with the Western Terriers. He's facing up again. He's tough old cookie, Adam Ladd.
Live 1 boundary off 100. And unable to make contact and swiping at the ground in frustration. It's not easy when you're physically in pain, as Live still will be from that previous delivery from De Lange. He's generally of that kind of school of thought that you should never give the fast bowler the satisfaction of showing you're in pain. So the very fact that he did so much tells you a bit there. Live, down the ground. Is it 100 or is he out? I think he's gone. He is gone. It is a visiting captain's catch from Jack Taylor. Smartly taken coming around. A lovely moment from Marchant De Lange, who, having got Live out, gives him a pat on the back to say well played. Live is out for 97 of 56. And Yorkshire 161 all out. A really impressive bowling and fielding performance by Gloucestershire, who win in this cross-group game, the first ever T20 meeting between the teams, and ultimately win quite comfortably by 56 runs. A first defeat of the campaign in 4 for Johnny Bairstow's Yorkshire.
Yeah, pretty comfortable win in the end for Gloucestershire. I think we mentioned in the middle about that scoreboard pressure. Yorkshire not behind the run rate after the power play, despite losing the 3 wickets, and then sort of the middle order having to come in and go at sort of 11 or 12 straight away can take its toll. And a few wickets fell in the middle, and when you're leaving wickets out there, then it's always tough to get back onto the run chase. But credit to Adam Ladd, who's played today. He's brilliant knock of 97, just unable to support him. No one else making above 20 runs. But credit to Gloucestershire, in particular, Janssen, who finished with figures of 3 for 22 from his 3 overs. Short, left arm, wrist spin, 4 overs for 31, complementing his 83 in the first innings. So outstanding game from him. Possibly the pick of the match for me. But no, Gloucestershire with a better team today and come away with the victory.
Yeah, Live scoring 61% of the runs in Yorkshire's reply, but the problem was Yorkshire rarely found much accompaniment for him. Luxton's 20 off 12, the next best. After that, Moeen Ali's 15, coming at exactly a run a ball, and then everybody else unable to get into double figures. And that was the difference. When you look at Gloucestershire's scorecard, there was 82 from Darcy Short, but there was alongside him a very handy 42 from Joe Phillips on debut, but then a lot of little cameos in and around that, all scored at a good pace. So Yorkshire have to regroup. There is, of course, the big matter of a Roses fixture round the corner next Friday, the 5th of June. That's at 7 p.m. after the women's game earlier on in the day, where Yorkshire face Durham. Thank you very much for your company, wherever you've been across the world. Thank you to Noah Kelly for being alongside yours truly, Michael McCann. Thanks to Marif Khan and Aaron Vals, our commentators who you heard earlier on in the broadcast. Thanks to our hard-working camera ops and production crew. And thank you, of course, to Vertu, who are powering all of our home streams here at Yorkshire Cricket TV right throughout the season. Without their support, it would not be possible. We will see you next Friday for that double header. But for now, from Headingley, Gloucestershire, your deserved winners in the first head-to-head meeting between these teams, having beaten Yorkshire in the One Day Cup in August of 2024. It is they who once again are the ones taking the points back south. 3 wins from 4 for both of these teams so far then. From Headingley, we bid you goodbye.